Hey guys, how's it going? So, I was looking at what we have left to do in terms of hero ascension quests, since that's basically all that we have left to do in terms of this game. And by my count, we have 17 left. And kind of similar to what we've seen with some of the previous ones we've done, several of them we can just plug the hero in, basically put him in the party, go to a specific place and go. But some of them need specific requirements. So the ones that we can just jump straight into should be Lanz, Riku and Manana, Gray, Juniper, Alexandria, Monica, Gondor, Miyabi, and Melia. And then for the others, Valdi, we actually have to do that questline that we've been avoiding. We're at the point where we have to, I think, repair Mecha Friend. Xeon, we have to do some Colony 9 quests. For Teach, we have to do the Teach's Teachers questline. For Ezard, we have to do some random quest for Colony Lambda. Fiona is actually an interesting one. I'm here now. I just picked up the information. What happened was we couldn't find it at the end of last stream when we were doing some random, like, almost housekeeping-like stuff to see what we could do to prep for other hero quests. And it turns out that there was, like, a small update for the game. I don't know what all it fixed, but after I restarted the game, like, updated it, it actually had that information in the exact same place that we'd been running through. Don't know why that was. Might have been a bug or something. For Triton, we have to do some weird cooking thing. For Sagiri, Sagiri is one of the ones I'm really curious about. But Sagiri, we have to do a ton of stuff for Colony 04. That's probably the last one we'll do. And then Nia, we have to visit like 4 specific spots. But either way, as you can probably tell by our stream title and probably the VOD title, I figured we'd start out by doing Lanz, Alexandria's, and Miyabi's. All 3 of those should be on the list of, we can just go immediately do them. And then we'll kind of, after that, see what time we have left. And at that point we might do some other preparation for other quests. Maybe do those side quests for some of those other chains so that we can get into them. But as far as I know, I've honestly been ignoring some of these question marks because I figured for a long time, now that we had all the heroes, they were probably just, a bunch of side quests. But apparently this one, which we have had for a while, starts out side quest Lands, which is actually the last one for the main cast that we haven't done. That being said, I can't say I'm super interested in ascending Lance's class, because in my opinion, it's probably the worst feeling tank class of the, 5 we get, but we'll see. This isn't voiced, so maybe I'm not in the right place. It says it's in the base of the Great Sword, which should be here. Huh. This would be really awkward if this wasn't the right place. Interesting. Oh, Samon just wants to find some more effective use for the Origin Medal. Yeah, that's possible. The blade that Noah just hucks off, the castle. But... Ultimate hammer. Guess that does make sense. You need, he could just be spewing random nonsense, but you'd assume you'd need some kind of special tools to shape something like Origin Medal. 6 scattered in the world. I think this was actually just a side. Whoops! I swear I thought that's what it was. Let me pull up this page again. I've basically constantly just had this secondary page up for where we go. Can be upgraded in Chapter 5 in the quest side story lands found at Great Sword's base. So it should be at the Great Sword's base, which I thought was around here. Either way, there should be a question mark. I remember looking it up and it said the Great Sword's base was in the Cadenzia region. And that was literally the only question mark I saw on this map. That's really awkward. Hold on. Let me just double check. Let's see. Xenoblade Chronicles story. Great Sword's base. Yeah, that's really, really awkward. I didn't run into it because I was trying to make sure I was okay, but it says connects to Zero Hovering Reefs, Great Sword's Hilt, Erythia Sea. It's in the Cadenzia region. Am I an idiot? The answer's yes, but I was pretty sure that's what it was. Landmarks. Banis Path, Morg Inlet with the Sword Face. Headwater Camp. Dock number 3. What? Samon Secret Storage, which should be somewhere around here. Let me just look up real quick, side quest land. Sorry about that. I was so sure that's what it was. Because it was the only question mark in like this entire region. Let's see. Southwest Lands. Get information at the fuller oh, okay, that's why you need information. That would be why. Curious about training. Receiving the order for the quest, the castle beckons. Machine going arms already. City by proceeding with chapter 6. Good to know. So, we have to grab information about training drills in... Oh, it should be right about here. Oh, here we are. I'm an idiot. I should just look around. Yeah, sorry about that. I was so sure it said Great Swords Base. It should be right around here. But it looks like we actually have to do it based off information, which does make sense in hindsight, because I think just about every single side quest has required us to go find some. So, here we go, though. Yeah, I always talk about this. It's kind of crazy how much they actually try to encourage you. I'm just gonna... They encourage you to go back to older areas and re-explore things, because honestly, there's several colonies. I was kind of looking at the list for some of those. For example, Colony Lambda's quests, and I didn't even think I had some of those picked up. And usually you just have to run around there, get some new information, that kind of thing. But either way, I figured we should probably start out by finishing off the last of the main 6. I just have no idea, too, how long each of these Hero Ascension quests will be, because some of them are definitely significantly longer than others. Interestingly enough, this one doesn't seem to have any hero requirement. Almost all of them, I think, required... So the 2 story, I don't think required specific heroes because they were the story. Taion and Uni both required Riku and Minana. Sena required Gondor. It looks like this one doesn't have a specific hero. So talking about the Lost Numbers training. Yeah, makes sense that Sena would want to go check out a training exercise. Near the dormitory. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, this is a perfect example of when I would have never gone back to that elevator for, like, any specific reason. So without finally getting the point where we'd finished off the main story and started looking some of this stuff up, I would have had no idea. Just because I never would have gone back to that area. Even though it's right next to, like, that quest we had right next to Samon. Just not really reason to go back to the elevator. But here we go. You know you're in, like, a hero or hero ascension quest when it starts getting voiced, though.
That is what I would dub it.
It would be a dreadful waste
Interesting.
to throw it away. There's always a use. Always. People, lives, the lot. Why?
I stand corrected.
Oh, okay.
What manner of use is it that you have envisioned?
That's a Medusa looking... Oh, it's Waffle Ironhead.
The lost numbers.
And a Medusa looking
City ruffians.
console.
You do know, no life can be harvested therefrom.
These cutscenes are always a little fun in me, though, because at this point in our save file, obviously X, Y, and Z... Well, Z is still here, but Z doesn't participate in any of these. But X and Y don't, exist, shall we say.
Oh.
The cream of the crop of youth competing for glory.
Interesting.
Oh.
To be fair, though, I was saying we should have been able to do this in chapter 5 or 6. 5 at the earliest, I think that page was saying. And we definitely did not. Oh! That's the kid from their flashbacks. So, I'd been wondering this entire time because at Yoren's sacrifice, it looked like he got out with the others, but then we never saw him again. That makes a lot of sense, though, because I was thinking, too, with Yoren's character arc being concluded within the main story, you know, it always comes down to... Oops. What could you really, you know... It just always makes you wonder with things like this. What could you really focus upon? And this does make a lot of sense. This character, character hadn't even... It goes back to what I always say, too, about... This game, I think, is really good about bringing callbacks to small, minor details. I guess that's not really a minor detail, because it's a very major character in their flashbacks to their training days. But, you know, as their, like, childhood bully, that Lanz also just beat the crud out of multiple times to defend Yorn. But, like, this is a character hadn't even crossed my mind in several streams. But I remember at the very beginning, I'd wondered why we'd never encountered them. To the point that I even remember, I know the hair color was different, but when we first saw Xeon, the thought crossed my mind that's who it could be.
Don't tell me you weren't curious too. I want to know all their tricks of the trade.
Yeah. But there's a quest over there, and I still don't know how to get past that gate. Maybe this hero quest could be what does it, but I still have no idea. But this is actually where we met young Ethel for a while, where she kind of hung out. Okay. You know, they're not standing... I don't know how much, like, kickback there are in their firearms. They're not standing that far from the targets. Hitting a bullseye for, like, a rifle at that range would not be difficult. Who knows, though? Technically, they could be, like, fresh city recruits, but... firing guns is not super hard. It goes back to this character. So this character might have some resentment for Lanz, honestly. Even if their team won in that first training exercise we saw, Lanz was very clearly always... I don't want to say a threat, because they're technically allies, but, you know. When they were younger, Lanz was always very clearly stronger.
6 ain't many.
6 of what now?
The Ouroboros candidates. All that training and 6 get in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Monica did say something.
Only
about
6
that
at a
before.
time. I remember thinking it was interesting too. Shania's in Side Story Sena said that she was like candidate number 8 and Gondor's
There's a
1
pecking order here
for
too.
the city.
Makes them the same as us.
People aren't equally suited to everything.
Yeah, everyone has things they're good at.
Sure, I guess, but
I'm feeling hungry. You guys want to go grab a bite?
I'm in favor.
How about the shopping area? I found the tastiest looking torpedo stand.
Torpedoes.
How's that sound? Torpedo wraps, eh? Spark, yes. Lance?
yeah, sure thing.
Yeah. Lanz has always been outwardly one of those characters who obviously acts tough. He's always about training and everything. But one of his big character developments is really showing some of the insecurities he has. Some of those self-doubts. It really shows because obviously, and I've mentioned this before, Uni and Noah were affected by Yorn's reappearance. But both of them, it still felt like kind of had an understanding of what they needed to do. The fact that Yorn was now Mobius, they didn't allow that to make them hesitate as much. Although it obviously, again, still affected them. Whereas Lanz is the one who was constantly, it was always on his mind, always brought up with him as kind of the focal point. Really just gives you some reflection into his character, and it goes back to what I always say too about even the more one-dimensional seeming characters. Oh, hi Gray. Seem to be, there's a lot of depth to them. Ashir is another perfect example. Take me with you, I want to, oh. Well, we do still have his Ascension quest to do, and his is one of the ones that we don't have to do anything for, so. There is that. Oh, it's a juggler. I could never juggle. Just something I couldn't do. It's hilarious because I used to do like varsity pole vaulting. I was a state level tennis player. Couldn't juggle.
Hey, you! What are you doing back
It's always really awkward actually.
How many times have I told you no performing out here?
It's gotta help the morale. I know like businesses and stuff like that in our day and age kind of don't always appreciate that type of thing. I've worked at well, I should probably name, but I've worked at a few like retail stores and such, and they, I don't know if it was a legal thing or a store policy, but they couldn't allow things like that outside.
You shouldn't be wasting
But-
your time like this.
Oh,
Don't you have training?
training, huh? Not everybody's a member of the Lost Numbers.
This is my job here.
But you'd think the city's a little bit different.
You call that a job?
Hey,
Hmm.
you're Ouroboros,
Ouroboros, right?
Yeah, the whole aspects
Suppose my job
of...
doesn't really compare to yours, I'll admit.
Oh, I don't think that's what
Why
Lance
don't
meant,
you
but the
okay?
entire point of entertainers,
Street performance. It's
Hmm.
not allowed on this road.
I don't think is something that really
Street
exists for them
performance?
either. Really goes to show, though. There's so many things that the members of Kevis and
Well,
Agnes
this
just have no
one,
idea about.
This is where you get the best crowds.
Hmm.
But still they like to push me around. We're at war here. Why aren't you fighting? They say.
Do you not need to be fighting?
The city's army is just for volunteers.
Hmm. Yeah, there's quite a few people in the city that don't
There's
fight.
plenty who are willing,
I don't know why that's
Why is that?
super surprising.
because it gets you others' approval.
Hmm. Yeah, well, it would, wouldn't it?
You think so?
You don't?
Well, who decides what has merit?
Yeah.
And whoever's making the rules, how do we know they're right?
So easy to forget how tall Lanz is in comparison to almost everyone.
I mean,
Hmm.
I don't really know anything. It's just,
Uh-huh.
I think,
Hmm.
isn't it fine if there's like one guy who makes the call for himself?
Yeah.
You know?
Even if it ends up being pointless.
Hey, even pointless
Hmm.
things can have a point down the line.
Yeah.
I want to live my way. Take it one step at a time, the way I want. Really
Hmm.
live.
Yeah, I don't mind this character though. Honestly, they have pretty good points, but again, they're points that
Better scarper before the guards find me again.
they're points that someone like Lanz or the main party really wouldn't understand, just because they've never had the reason to, which is actually really sad.
I've got a new trick, just in the works. You should come and watch.
What's that noise? It's
Bye.
an alarm.
You okay there? Can I help out?
Nah. I'm all good.
Lanz,
Sena's really cute too.
this alarm's worrying. Head for the war room.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
Okay, it's the alarm for the war
On
room.
it.
For me personally, Sena gets a bit overshadowed for Mio and Uni, but that's because
Torpedo wraps.
we never got to eat any torpedo
War room
wraps.
should be our top priority right now.
Again, I really like all of the main six, but Uni's kind of the one that steals the show. I feel like in a lot of side scenes, and then Mio was a very central vocal character to the main story. Like even Sena's side story felt like it was more focused around Shania and Gondor, which really makes me wonder. I would assume that either Gondor or Monica's Ascension quest, I think has to focus around their relationship, because it's always been a bit uneasy. Towards the end of the main story, it seemed to get a little bit better,
I hate the waiting.
but it just seems so strange to me, because Sena really, even in her own Ascension quest, where she should be the star, which was really the case, you know, for pretty much everyone else, it didn't feel like it was really the case to me.
A cradle transport for the colonies. Yes.
Although she was also
Report is calling
pretty,
it
she's in the
large
forefront
scale.
of stuff like Sagiri's hero quest, stuff like that, but that's because she was the inheritor of the class. I think every single time it's the same thing as with Uni and Ashira and such. The inheritor is usually one of the members of the six that
Right.
really comes
That
to the
explains the
focal point
emergency
of the hero quest.
When? Where?
By our estimate, tomorrow, late
Pesto
night.
Valley floor.
Pedesto Valley floor.
Okay.
At the Great Sword's base. Boss, the logistics guys wanted an overnight camping kind of deal.
Approved. Sort out the planning.
Yeah. One thing I will say
Just
too
what I
is,
thought
like,
you'd say,
it's kind
so I
of
took
my fault for
initiative.
just rushing
We
it
can
in the
leave
main
anytime.
story. But it really makes you realize too, the first Ascension quest we did was, it was Mio's in Chapter 6. We could have done several before then, and I've been wondering for chapters and chapters how long it took. It seems like Lance's might have even been one of the
Yeah,
earlier ones we could
gladly.
do, looking at the
If
list.
Monica's okay with
But
it.
Chapter 5 does seem to be the earliest you could have
It's
done
up to
Ascension
you.
quests.
But if things don't go to plan, there might be a fight.
Well, there's always a fight in this world
We're
base.
prepared for that.
Then be my guest. Take this chance to show my soldiers that Ouroboros spark. It'll be an illuminating experience for them, fighting or not.
Show them the spark. It'll be illuminating.
All right. We'll drill them well.
Interesting. I'm really glad I explored this, actually. It goes back to what I always say. I don't know why I keep saying always, but it's just when I'm sorry. My brain's been a little bit scattered this morning, but I explored around here a little bit. I had no idea this entire area was. The reason I was confused was I found this little ledge here, and I knew I couldn't access it, and that's what led me to sail around here, off stream. But I feel like I've said, like, it's like I always say, like, 5-6 times already this stream. Not trying to, I know I have a really bad tendency to repeat myself, but... Let's see. Either way, though, I am really interested in where this will go. I wasn't super sure. Lanz was another Ascension quest that I just had no idea. Several of them I have a general idea of what could happen, even if it's not entirely, you know, the specifics. But this one was one I was not sure.
All we had to do was bash heads. No thinking, no nothing.
What about the dying part?
Yeah.
You weren't scared?
Sure, I was scared. But at least I knew what was expected of me.
Wait a sec. You want to go back to that?
Oh.
Obviously not. Just saying how I feel.
Yeah.
There's just too much snuff to consider nowadays.
Sometimes when people, it's like being a kid. Honest, it's too many
I
nut
think
in.
you should try it sometime. This thinking thing might not be so bad.
Stop making it sound like I don't.
You just said it yourself. No thinking, no nothing.
It's like being a kid, you know, you didn't have to steer your own life. You spoon.
Who are you calling a spoon?
Just called Uni a spoon.
If you're gonna act like a spoon, of course I'm gonna call you one.
It takes one to know one.
What?
Let's just
Oh my
chill out
gosh.
here, you guys.
She calls him a Muppet earlier in the
Okay,
story.
then why don't you tell me where we are now? What's this region? Come on, spill.
Oh, hopefully he knows.
It's,
Oh no.
See? You can't tell your ass from your elbow. Doesn't that make you the spoon?
just because I slept through that class, if I'd been awake for it,
He's right.
then...
Things were easier. Then stay awake, you spoon.
Yeah. We had everything handed to us. Back then.
Hmm.
That's not quite true in your case, though, is it?
What?
You had thoughts.
Yeah.
And deep ones at that.
I think it was partially due
I
to
can
Chris,
tell.
but...
When we're playing together.
But you have as well.
I
Yeah.
hope we find an answer.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We'll find it.
And that's,
I'm
I
sure.
think, kind of the focal point, too, behind their characters. Them being the ones that really gave thought to things like that. I think I have a closer... Oh, never mind. I had that named grave earlier. I spend a lot of time off streaming running around trying to get soul hacker upgrades as well. But
The Podesto Valley.
even to this point, I don't know if there's just key things. I know there's things like do a certain amount of damage with this art, do a certain amount of healing with this art as well. Soul hacker just seems like a class that once you invest in everything, it had better be like the best attacking class in the game. Otherwise, it just takes so much investment to do anything with. Like, it's an interesting idea. It takes so much time. Defeating basically every single unique monster. I think you can eventually unlock it so you don't have to have one in the party, but
It's an
still.
honor. I mean, this chance to do an op with you guys.
What do you mean?
You're my heroes. Ouroboros.
Wonder if this guy was a candidate
I
at some
always
point.
knew a grunt like me could never
Ah.
measure up.
That's fair.
Although we all still dreamed of it. And now you're here in the flesh. Doesn't seem real.
What's so great about us?
Huh?
Oh,
Before this
Lanz.
op's done, we might have to kill old friends. How about
Yeah.
it? Could you
Lanz
do
is
it?
being somewhat
Just have
cynical.
a friend?
I feel like usually he's,
Lance.
yeah, a little bit more gentle with
I
people
mean,
like
that's-
this.
If
A
you're
little bit
here with some
clumsy,
half-assed
but...
notions, go home.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry. I just got excited.
They talk big, but
Hmm.
when shit hits the fan, they might just double-cross us. You watch.
Hmm.
You saying you can't trust us with the job?
100%. You never trained with our unit before. Never ever fought by our
Interesting.
side. Way I see it, You're just some arsewipes who
Was this
stole
guy
the
an
Lord's
Ouroboros
rightly
candidate?
ours.
Because we met like the quote-unquote 6, but that 6 didn't include Gondor
If I let
So,
you down, shoot me.
during the story.
Front or back, I don't care.
Gee, thanks. Well, that's
Huh.
awful big of you, pal.
Lanz's attitude obviously didn't help situations like that, but...
I'm sorry. Maybe we shouldn't have come.
No, this is good.
Is it?
It's how you build trust. You can only begin once you've gotten everything out in the open.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Really?
One of my dad's favorite lines. Wasn't it the same for you lot?
I don't know if I'd say fighting each other put everything out in the open. It was more just that we got driven together by circumstance and then things just worked out. Still curious about the Medusa-looking console.
You might be right on
It's
the mark.
obviously one I don't think that we've met
I'm
before,
sure they'll
but
settle down when they need to.
yeah. Seems
They've
like
got
Y's
good
part of
role
this
models
quest too.
today.
I don't know if we're exactly role models. Especially if Lanz keeps putting up an attitude. Don't be wrong, I mean, if anyone has the right to put up an attitude after everything they've been put through, I mean, it's basically everyone not Mobius in this world, but, you know. Because as of Chapter 5, again, I just have to think in my mind of where this slots into the timeline of the story, since we're doing a lot of these, you know, just at least like 17 plus the other like 3 we did the other day in a row. You have to kind of consider where they would have taken place, and at this point we hadn't dealt with Yorn, I don't think. Yeah, not in Chapter 5, so it's kind of crazy. There would be a lot on Lanz's mind at this point still. Because that's really the point that I felt like Lanz kind of got that breath of fresh air and was no longer burdened by a lot of things.
Our intel was right. There's quite a few of them.
But it's too quiet. There's barely any signs of life. They're probably all conked out.
The fewer centuries.
Yeah, you would think they'd have some lookouts. Even we,
The cradles are in
yeah,
that
always
transport.
talk about having
Yes, it's
a lookout
likely.
when we camp out.
Let's head down. If we go round from the right, we can approach unseen.
Roger that.
The crazy thing is, too, part of the city's strategy was, you know, let's get all of the cradles so that they can't keep putting in this cycle of Mobius's rebirth. But as far as we know, they could just continue to make more and more, you know? It just takes out those specific ones out of the cycle. Such is what happened with Ethel. Just really interesting stuff. Because we never really, like, aside from the cycle of, like, cradles and such, I don't think we ever got, like, a surety of how they make, like, the new designs for new beings, if that makes sense. Because obviously when someone dies without reaching homecoming, they're reborn as a first-termer in the cradles, but that's still a finite number of people, in my thought.
What is this? They're all empty.
It's interesting. You'd think if they take them out of the cradles, though, then they're already
There's nothing in here.
reborn, maybe?
Empty. Son of a...
That or they're just decoys. That's also a possibility.
Same over here. We got cradles, but nothing in them.
Monica?
Did we?
Fall into a trap?
Did we just fall for a trap?
I mean, by this point, if they've collected enough cradles, they know that's what they're going for. Oh my gosh.
They've got us surrounded.
Kavesi troops.
Well, doesn't it suck to be you? Every little step you made
Yep.
turned out exactly as planned. Now us, we're an elite unit, the all-stars of Keves.
I don't know if I'd say they were an elite unit.
Doing as you please for long enough.
Without blaming Yorn, I mean, they were
Right here,
doing pretty well, I thought, in that
now,
training
we're gonna
exercise.
correct that little mistake.
Way back when.
Garth! Oh, so you've actually heard of me?
So he did die at some point then, if he doesn't have memories of
Myself
them.
more credit than I thought.
I think that has to be the case.
Layla and who?
box.
I mean, we didn't,
They
yeah.
look like they're in their early
We didn't
terms.
see them during Colony 9, which is where you would assume they were.
They got
So
me
yeah,
bored.
they had to, yep.
That adds up. This lot, soon after they moved to Colony 8, I hear they
Oh,
croaked.
okay. They went to Colony 8 and then died. We never went to Colony 8 too.
Don't dare look down on us second-termers.
Second
We
term.
were chosen. We are the elite. Now, I don't know if you're
Huh.
lost numbers or what. But you're in our way, and for that, your heads are
He's a
gonna
little bit
roll.
messed up to beat up second termers, but you know, I mean, not like we have an option. Plus side. As always, we're extremely over leveled. Probably won't even have to chain attack for this. Yeah, I kind of doubt at this point that we'll be finding any new colonies. Unless there's something like the Lost Colony from Tyon's side story. Just because now we do know we have every single hero in the game. But it kind of just builds up the world base a little bit. You know, mentioning that there's another colony, which you'd expect. I always bring it up, but Uni mentioned at one point there were like 20, I think she said 23 or 24 Agnian colonies that they were told about in Kevis. So, by that logic, there's probably a similar number in
Just finish them off already. I need
in
that
Kevis.
sweet,
That's
sweet
the
life.
number Uni had on Agnes, yeah.
Finish them off. Hurry, run them through.
What?
Go on.
This-
Kill them dead. That'll give me a good top up.
Yeah,
Nice and easy.
this guy wasn't exactly likable to begin with.
Gotta love this new flame clock the console was kind enough to give us.
But now that he's
It's a
kind of,
belter.
jeez, under the control of Mobius to some extent as well, makes him even more
It's a
unlikable.
different color.
Yeah,
Yeah, that is no ordinary.
the original, I mean, original Agnian ones are what, like,
Back in my
it's like
old
blue and
colony,
yellow
some morons
for, like,
slowed you
yellow for
down. There
Agnes,
was
I think blue
nothing
for
you could do.
Kevis. And then we have the purple
Oh,
ones.
you could kill them, sure, but you wouldn't get any life from it. But around here, that's all changed. Here, life is the privilege of the strong. The final survivor gets to take the whole snuffing cake.
Garvel.
You get it
Yeah.
now, do you? The weaklings need to be taken out of the running. So give me some of that sweet life,
That literally just makes us want to target him, yeah.
you mother.
You can call yourself elite all you want.
Disarms him. Immediately throws a tantrum.
You're the same as ever, Garv.
Hmm.
Only ever thinking of yourself.
How are you gonna win against us like that?
Yeah, that's gotta be
What
horrifying.
snuff is this? No one told us about these monsters.
You are not to hesitate.
Oh, that has to be Gorgon Lady. Oh, now they're just firing at all of us. I wonder, do we actually try and save Garvel? Or do we let Garvel be reborn again as a second termer?
What?
Hmm.
Lady Consul.
I should have known.
Guess you can't
Yeah.
have a Feronis without a consul, eh?
Yeah, that's generally how it works.
My Ouroboros as well. I can't believe my luck. I suppose I ought to have prepared better still.
Hmm.
A woman?
Why'd he say it like that?
They're an
Anti-city special unit, huh?
One that I have diligently raised and lavished with love myself.
Hmm.
It has been backbreaking to educate them so.
Interesting.
They'll have to earn much, much more life for me before they're done.
Yeah, well, that's
I
the story of any
hate
colony.
investments. So you see,
I'll take you brats out myself to protect mine.
Hmm. So what console is this? Mobius H. Yeah, I don't think we've met this console before. Really does make me wonder too, like in Ashira's side story, we also met a console that we'd never seen before. So I think it's very possible that we continue to run into, like, one-shot wonder, you know, Mobius members just for the Ascension quests. Yeah, oh, I guess I should mention to you, probably tell, but I did inherit Melee and Nia's class over to everyone, and I got their inheritors, which, you know, Mio and Noah up to level 10, so that's not a concern either. I do believe you have to have everyone at level 10. So, based on the guides I've been looking at, just to double check and make sure I'm right on, like, which ones have requirements and which ones shouldn't, because Lanz is technically at a requirement, but it took us, like, 20 seconds to do, you know? Checking that, it does seem like it doesn't even have to necessarily be the inheritor, but someone just has to be level 10. That being said, you would assume, you know, the class inheritor is usually going to be the one to hit 10 first. Unless you're, like, running that specific hero lot, it gets inherited, and you weren't running that class on whoever got it most recently. Which has only ever really been the case when Uni inherited Ashira and Monica's class for us. Very, very close to each other. Most of the rest of the time, though, there's a bit of a gap between when a specific character inherits a class, because then it kind of rotates through different characters. But that was literally, I think it was what? On the hero list, I think it was... I'm pretty sure it was Ashira, Alexandria, and Monica. But then again, we also got Gondor before we got Fiona or Triton, so stuff like that also plays a factor. We have been messing around with a few other of the older classes we haven't used. I did try Lanz a bit again. Not a big fan. The AoE taunt is nice, but I feel like in almost every aspect it just doesn't feel as good as playing Ashira's class, Lone Exile. But, you know, every class has some unique things about it, I suppose. But here we're trying Sword Fighter again for a little bit, because I really like this class at the start. I don't mind it. I think that it is another class that seemed very impressive at first and not quite to that extent once we've gone back and tried other things. But I don't think it's terrible feeling. I think where it really suffers is, we always mention this about like Zephyr, dual wielding classes I think do better if they're from Agnes, because they get that auto attack arts recharge. But, oh, is this console just dead? Oh.
Dear oh dear. It seems your grasp has exceeded your reach.
Well, I didn't expect this console to stick around after this Ascension quest, but I didn't think it would be... I didn't think we'd literally fight her once and then she'd die. Huh. I guess that happened with, I think the name was W. So that was like a very short-lived... She literally showed up for like 2 paragraphs. We fought her and then she died. Oh, Garvel's having a bit of a breakdown about it. Again, you gotta consider, even if Garvel's unlikable, this supposed new colony is very, like, almost all of them seem to be first, second, third termers, just based on looks. So they really are, you know, effectively just children that don't know what to do now. But it looks like we potentially do save Garvel, which...
You don't have to fight anymore.
Interesting.
No more stealing of lives. No more charity from consuls.
What are you on about? Get snuffed. You're talking out your ass. Don't have to fight.
Yeah.
Fighting is all that we know. If we don't have that, then what the snuff are we supposed to do?
I don't know, you could follow in Colony 9's footsteps and start a farm.
Hey, need some help?
Huh? Oh yeah. Nah.
No?
Been through worse.
Oh, Monica was right.
Man, you guys.
They just had to lay everything bare and then
You're so far
they protected
beyond
him.
us.
It's not a big deal.
Looks like Lanz's attitude's going away a little bit too. Wonder if he apologizes to the guy who actually looked up to them super hard from the start and he just kind of snubbed him a bit.
Think they'll be okay, those guys.
What's eating you, Lance?
Well,
Yeah.
I just worry we cut them loose a bit soon.
Well, what are we gonna do?
Tell
Leave him
me,
for a few years?
What are we gonna do now?
I wonder though, is Garvel technically the commander of this so-called... I mean, that of Piranhas, I don't know if that makes them a colony.
You stop stealing lives.
Huh.
You guard them. It's simple. But the how is up to you. Got it?
Interesting.
Spark? You can't do this to us.
Yeah.
Colony 4. Know it?
Oh, he
Yeah.
sent them to Colony 4.
I've heard about it.
Let's give Boliaris
On
another
your map,
headache.
Middle of the Faunus region. The lieutenant there, Boliaris. You can tell him we sent you. Try him. Helps to have a mentor, starting out.
Yeah. Well, if they're just like one small, like... They made it sound less like a colony, more like an elite fighting force that had a Piranhas. Was the way they kind of stated it. So maybe it's not a big
Gave
number
them
of
the
people.
info. Now they got a choice.
Also,
Some
how do
might
they...
take it hard, though.
How are these... This small
Besides,
colony gonna get
when we cut
over...
through the Flame
I'll
Club,
just refer to them as a colony,
was to
but...
protect
How
the
are they
city
gonna
that
get all the way
destroyed
over
it.
to Colony 4?
there was
They're in the
little else we could
Cadenzia
do.
region?
If
Right
we'd
now?
meddled even more, it might have come right back round to bite us
And
in
it
the
took us
bum.
like, you know, like 1-2
We did
months
the
to
right
get
thing
over
by
here.
telling them about Colony 4.
So...
I think that was the best course of action.
Colony 4 is all the way over in like the Fornus region, no?
Everything
That's
they
on
believe
the other
came
side of the
crashing down just
continent.
like that. They'll be confused for a while, sure.
Hmm.
But they'll figure it out. Just the same as you lot did.
We might have gotten off lightly. If we hadn't met like we did in that valley, we'd be just as confused as those guys.
I don't know if I'd say we got off
Luck was
lightly.
on our side.
Or Boros becoming one was like a stroke of luck, but...
Speaking
Hmm.
of, back then, wasn't it Lanz who was the most reluctant of us?
Nah.
Yeah, Tyon didn't get along
Our
with
big
anyone
man's just
either.
a bit shy to introduce himself in front of new people, right?
Ah, shut up.
Why did Uni keep teasing Lanz this
Oh,
quest?
yeah, he was. I did kind of get the impression
Now
he was
Sena's hopping
embarrassed to
in.
speak up, right? Eh? Oh, he's just a big teddy bear, really.
Hmm. Poor Lance. Trying to put on the tough guy act and he's getting just torn to pieces. Hmm. But yeah, if this hero quest ends here in a second, this was a really short one. Especially for one of the main 6.
Double Arden meat, deluxe.
Ah, thanks a bunch.
They got to have their
Ah, let's see.
torpedo
No
wraps.
tall spice here, but double veggie.
Senna was really sad about that as he
Arthur's
left.
sausage, huh?
Hmm.
That sounds good. But then, there's the tall spice sauce as well. Fluff cream and skeeter syrup.
He's having a crisis over ordering.
Oh,
I
even
feel that.
chocolate sauce.
Hmm.
How can I
Possibly choose, yeah. No, I feel that. I don't go out to eat very often, so you go to a restaurant and it's like,
Eating what we want.
yeah.
Huh?
But is it enough? I want more.
Oh.
Dude, that's already pretty hefty. Ready to go eat another?
Oh, Uni. It's already pretty
Oh,
hefty.
hey.
We have another.
Whoa, he's pretty decent.
Hmm.
Or have I got it backwards?
Huh?
Maybe it has to start with me.
Yeah. Change always does. Oh, is he gonna go watch the performance? Yeah, that wasn't bad. I liked that. But it was definitely a shorter hero quest. Yeah, unexpectedly reunited with Garvel. I completely just... Interesting. Anyways, yeah, on to Alexandria's with the next on our list for today. If they're all that short, some of them took like a long time. I think Ashira's in particular. Part of the reason for some of them taking longer too is us having to look stuff up. Like Ashira's, I did look up how to get to that central island underneath the castle. But that was a pretty short ascension quest. I was expecting the main 6 to all be pretty lengthy ones.
Just be yourselves.
Hmm. Yeah, as for what Alexander's could be about, I could think of a couple things. My main thought was it maybe does centralize around the fact that Alexandria's colony is the one that's constantly trying to... I'm in the wrong region, aren't I? Oh no, we're right here. Alexandria's constantly trying to get those resources out to others. We help them restock back up. But... yeah, let's see what this is about. I do know this one, I mean... I could be wrong again, but this is one of the question marks that disappears if Alexandria isn't in your party. So I'm 99% certain. Same with the one I have in my head as being Miyabi's. I'm pretty sure this literally has to be the hero quest. That first one we checked, I was so sure it was Lanz's, I didn't realize there was a conversation. But again, every single one of the main 6 did have a conversation. I had a rest spot to do. So I probably should have guessed. But here we go.
Just ask yourself, can we really afford not to do it?
Okay.
Please convey this to Dame Alex.
Look, I'm telling you, there's no
Yeah,
way
isn't
she'd
Chickadee her
agree.
lieutenant?
You seem to be having fun. Mind if I join in on the pleasantries?
Yeah, this is voice, so it should be the correct one.
Huh? Dame Alex?
We can explain everything.
Don't trouble yourself, Chickadee. I'll hear it from him directly.
I want to hold a tech summit with Colony 30.
It's Colony 30, huh? Oh, with Valdi's colony. Honestly, Valdi's like a genius engineer. The only one we know of from Kevis that might be above Valdi's level is Riku, so... not a terrible idea. And Colony 30 is a colony that we absolutely freed before.
Continue.
Colony Iota.
I know you're reluctant.
Oh, she had a Rubik's Cube.
But now that we've been released from the flame clock, and the wall between Kevis and Agnes has crumbled, now's the perfect time to institute a tech exchange.
Yeah.
If it's successful, it could even lead to
It's-
stronger, more lasting
It's not a
peace.
terrible idea, but... you can understand why
You had problems with
she'd be a
Colony
bit
30
hesitant.
past?
Colony 30 is not even a combative colony.
We fought against them before, just
Huh.
once. But they absolutely wiped the floor with us.
Really? I wonder if it was... actually, with both Alexandria and Valdi being 6th termers, you would assume it was when Valdi was the leader of the colony.
Dame Alex misread an enemy to
Huh.
that degree. The bitter aftertaste from that event has lingered for years, giving us all headaches.
Well, you would assume they fought with any colony even relatively in the area. You know? And Colony 30's pretty close, actually. In the Forness region, you have, what, Colony 4, Colony 30, Colony Iota are the main 3.
It doesn't sound half bad. Let's have a technology summit.
Oh,
Really?
they should just went along with it. It doesn't sound like a bad idea as long as they can do so peacefully. And Valdi's the type that
Kevis's Colony 30 stands at the
Yeah.
forefront of technology. This is
you
not
would
a
think would
problem in
be
the
pretty
slightest.
willing to do so.
Truly, not even a speck of one.
Minus the fact that, you know, they're former enemies.
Chickadee, contact Colony 30. Tell them I'm coming.
Oh.
Yes!
I guess we better go then. I wonder, did we technically send resources to Colony 30?
We will rendezvous there. I'll bring results home. You'll see.
So I guess I was kind of right in the idea of this probably involves the fact that they've been trading resources everywhere, but that's a very vague idea. I didn't think about a tech summit or anything like that, or Colony 30.
Of course, Mom.
But I'm pretty sure it's on that basis. Otherwise, you know, they might be more willing to listen to Alexandria because Alexandria's colony has been sending out
This is
resources
Valdi we're talking
than
about.
any other random
I don't
one.
think you need to get so worked up.
Yeah.
Suppose I told you that Colony 30 was currently struggling with an urgent water shortage. What would you imagine?
Huh? Oh, I don't know. Burst water mains or something?
Or their spring
Okay.
dried up?
Incorrect. The right answer was big cleaning project at the colony.
Oh, okay.
You have got to be joking.
Regrettably, I am not. It really happened.
That's really funny.
That does kind of sound like Valdi, though, huh?
Yeah.
There are also many Nopon living there. They tend to follow their own unique rules.
That being said, though, Colony 30 is literally on like a metal tower over a lake. I don't know how they could be having a water
They are
shortage.
unique, and therefore worth studying in greater depth. Knowing your opponent and preparing accordingly, that is the foundation of any battle.
Do you still consider Colony 30 your enemy then, Alexandria?
This isn't about enemies or allies. All I'm saying is that the side that gets careless loses.
Yeah, Alexander is another one of the characters that
So your strategy is outright distrust.
tends to lead very, I don't know if I'd say that, but tends to lead in a very measured way.
Hurt others first to avoid being hurt yourself. Do you think that's logical?
It's a matter of opinion.
It's a matter of opinion, jeez.
And you're entitled to that. Say what you will, but they've got a good colony over
Yeah.
there.
Literally the first hero we recruited aside from Ethel.
Right. If you don't mind, could we attend this technology summit of yours?
Do we really need to
We could
know?
help introduce you and Valdi too.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we should be there to help, you know, smooth the waters, but...
Yes. I dare say with you by my side, they may be less guarded than otherwise. I suppose I may require your assistance.
Oh, okay. You may require our assistance. Inescapable past. I mean, that's a picture of Alexandria in Colony 30, so...
We've made some new friends.
It does sound exactly like Valdi, but again, it's a metal, like, construct over a giant lake. I have a really hard time thinking they're struggling with water. No matter what Valdi did, I don't know, what he do, accidentally dump something hazardous into the lake. Either way, oh look, we have more information for this colony. I do know we have one of the quests we're supposed to do for Valdi's Ascension quest, though. And it is the one where we have to fix Mecha Friend.
This is all just so over the top.
Yeah, that was it. I mean, I'm surprised they fought Colony Iota at any point, because Colony Iota is a silver rank colony. And Valdi is, again, I guess every colony has to fight to some extent, but they really are like an engineering, repairing, levelness type colony. When I say they're not combative, they're not a combat specializing colony, for sure. Hi, Valdi.
Hey, pal. How you doing?
Not too shabby, I suppose. Riku, Chief, Manana.
Friend Valdi! Banana missed friend!
Yeah, it's been a while.
No need to be shy, Chief.
I envy you your energy levels, bud.
It has been a while. I'm glad to see you in high spirits.
Yes, they have met before.
Thank you.
It's really crazy to think that these two characters are the same term.
Who's this?
He's gonna offend
She's
Alexandria.
the commander from Colony Iota. You got the message, right?
Oh, you're anti-Alexandria. Thanks for reaching out.
Oh no.
It's Alexandria, actually. It would honor me greatly if you'd remember.
Alexandria.
Oh.
A pleasure to meet you. I'm the commander of Colony 30, Valdi. This will be my first technology summit. I'm really excited about this.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, has there ever been anything like this to begin with?
Not so much.
Wonderful. Is she mad at him already because he messed up her name and didn't remember her? Or...
Really? You don't like Levinuses?
I don't. Especially yours.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Then I hope that by the end of the day, you'll have learned to love them just as much as I do.
Yeah.
You're a credit to your colony, Commander. But don't you think you should be on your guard even a little?
To be fair, Valdi was never one of the ones that, like, one of the commanders that really dealt with things on his own. You know, his lieutenant was the one who really, it felt like, handled a lot of the leadership duties, while Valdi got to work on his levness and stuff, which was the entire reason there was a Mobius here.
Why would
For the ultimate levness he was making. Yeah.
You might be the only one who thinks that.
Oh, why is Alexander antagonizing Valdi?
Obviously not. If I was, the others wouldn't have brought you.
You trust them, don't you?
Just as you do. Right, Alexandria?
At least he got her name right the second time. Could you imagine if he got it wrong after she corrected him?
Alright then. Let me show you around. There's lots of stuff on the ground, so you'll have to watch your step. I have nothing to hide from friends, but feel free to look around.
Well, there we go. Yeah, I really don't know why. I get that, again, they were former enemies, but...
So that's how they're doing.
Valdi seems happy.
Huh.
I bet he doesn't get to show off like
Oh,
this
that was
very
fast.
often.
Said follow Valdi, and then it was just like... 2 seconds.
I love it. Everywhere I turn, there's hard-working knock-on.
Oh, they're not working. They're just doing their own thing. They snooze
Yeah.
when they're sleepy and eat when they're hungry. Sometimes they just wander off.
Still,
Wasn't this
they
the
don't
colony that
quite
had a either an Offseer that was a Nopon or a Nopon that was trying to play an Offseer flute?
What might they be
I think it was Colony 30. We have a quest for it that I never did. The Offseer quest I just
Listen to this.
wasn't super
I've been
interested
thinking
in.
about it a while.
Be interesting. I mean, the only thing is like seeing how different Offseers handle their duties throughout the colonies,
We're
but
looking into constructing a smaller,
I can't say it
stronger
bothers me that much.
focusing on 3 pillars: durability, serviceability, and ease of use. Actually, the whole premise of our work, like fixing things, might need rethinking. If you put too many features on one level,
Simplicity versus like making things complicated. It's easier to maintain, but potentially more function.
parts, and it ends up costly and hard. Not to mention the handling. So to get out of the cycle,
All right, calm down now.
huh?
Poor Valdi.
But I was calm.
Yeah. This is a technology summit, Alexandria.
I like this guy already.
This Gambrit's getting along.
This new model's design is really very interesting.
Thank you. I'm happy you think so. Oh, hey, do you want to work with us? We've just been looking for team members for Project Bingo.
Project Bingo, huh?
Bingo?
It's what I'm calling this new model. I was thinking about it, and when I figured it out, it was like
Oh
bingo.
my gosh.
So we named it that.
That does sound a lot like something Valdi would do.
Sounds great. I spend lots of time thinking about stuff too. So I'd love some hands-on experience to really improve and...
Gumbert,
By which, of course, I mean... Do you have any units in a state closer to completion?
Yeah, you can't exactly just leave Colony Iota right now.
Sure I do. I just made friends with one such unit recently, in fact.
Oh, okay.
what do you mean, friends?
Yeah, I mean, have you seen Mecha Friend?
I'll introduce you. She's in the hangar over there.
Love how the ultimate loveness is still just standing right here this entire time and they haven't asked about it.
How many Levnesses does he have here? These are his friends.
So that's how they're doing.
Don't worry too much about it. This is Valdi we're talking about. Going off what we heard, it's someone who's often in and out of the Levinus maintenance bay.
That would mean the mechanics, the commissary.
Well, Valdi's a bit eccentric, but
with the knock-on.
I think you could say the same about almost any commander.
There she is.
Oh, it's purple.
Wait.
Robo Buddy. First we had Mecha Friend and now we have Robo Buddy.
Robo... Buddy.
It's this little one's name.
Where'd you pick it up?
Oh, she was strolling about outside.
Did he steal an Agnian Levnis? Because the colors make me think that's Agnian.
Must have been on patrol, dude. Did you have to go and drag it in?
Yeah.
It doesn't treat Kevesi as hostiles. Does it not even distinguish between Kevis and Agnes?
That's interesting. Yeah, that has a really unique design compared to other Levnis, though.
Why would that be? Some error in the control circuits?
There's no errors here, and she's not broken.
You're conversant with Agnian technology?
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Way.
Oh,
I guess I dabble.
never
but
mind.
There's tons of stuff I don't understand there. That's why I started tinkering with those that I do.
Yeah. Well, it's still, you know, despite Valdi saying, you know, I have nothing to hide from friends, I'd love to have a technology summit, there's still some benefit to Colony 30 in extending their knowledge of Levnis.
First, the question of how Agnian autolevs operate autonomously.
Yeah, Kevis doesn't have autolevs.
Ether signaling, but I figured if we could break it down, we might be able to transmit stuff back to them from our side as well.
Okay.
Anyway, I spent ages racking my brain about it, but if you look at stuff like friend or foe identification, it gets mixed up.
Yeah, like having an autonomous ability to tell the difference.
Back up. Are you saying you can control it?
Well, it's not that precise, really. But at least we're friends now.
Yeah, we could go with that. What do you say now? Did it start attacking him when it first came in? Oh.
Is this for real?
If they actually succeed at implementing this at scale,
Yeah. It would turn the rules of engagement right on their sparking head.
You get to be more modern, let's just have drone fights, you know? Autolevs going head to head.
Valdi, what are you having Robo Buddy do?
Just moving and disposing of materials. It's still in the test phase, so we're keeping things simple.
And which
They also
section
don't
is in
really
charge?
have anyone to fight, so... There's that as well.
Guys. Why?
Why don't I ask you straight? Are you planning to use it as a weapon?
Alexandra's been so suspicious this entire time.
No flipping way. I would never. She's not for fighting. I made friends with her to stay friends with her.
Yeah.
Well, if that's the case, then it would seem you've missed your mark.
Oh.
Your friend seems to have other plans.
How does she know? Are we gonna have to break it? Ah.
Why?
Yeah, why out of the blue?
No use debating it. Ready arms.
Well, sorry, Valdi. Guess we're, destroying Robo Buddy. I mean, to be fair, there wasn't a whole lot of precedent for something for us to fight here. I'm actually surprised this might be a Hero Ascension quest that we don't deal with a console. It's a little bit too early to say that, but I literally can't think of any reason why a console would show up so far into this Ascension quest.
Robo Buddy.
Well, that makes things clear. Somebody within Colony 30 has been secretly misappropriating materials.
Oh no.
Misappropriating? What are you talking about?
Again, it really just... It's so weird to me that these two characters are the same term.
Look at the Collectopedia card. You said the 3 pillars for your new Levness were durability, serviceability, and ease of use. However, you'll notice that the materials RoboBuddy was collecting
Waning
were
lapis
waning
and
lapis
vinolum.
and vinolium. A brittle rock and a highly scarce metal. What ought we to think about that?
She accusing... Again, Valdi doesn't really... Like, of all the commanders, I think Valdi has the most hands-off approach when it comes to being, like, giving direct orders and such over their colony.
Oh, you're right. This isn't what I asked for. But hang on, Alexandria. How did you know to check on the Wikipedia cards?
He's just being innocent here, but yeah, that's a little bit suspicious.
I figured it might
Oh,
help,
okay. Never mind.
but it looks like I was right. Do you have any idea who the culprit might be?
Well, did they change it to being like...
Maybe it's all just a big misunderstanding.
So I thought Collectopedia cards required somebody to put in like a request for them. That's why we have specific cards for everyone. So I was thinking maybe they'd even edited it so that like it said it was requested under Valdi's card.
No, RoboBuddy
Which would
clearly
disguise who it
hostile
is.
and attacked us, which is to say, it must have been under the control of someone other than Valdi.
Yeah, but who in the colony could have?
What were they after?
Maybe this is the precedent for a
Might it
console to
have been
show up.
make a poison?
Poison?
Yes. Both of those materials contain certain toxic compounds. Of particular note is the lack of identifiable scent or flavor. When mixed in with food,
It's like iocane from The Princess Bride.
Well,
Can't even tell. Tasteless, odorless.
our console had some shady hobbies.
Oh.
And he liked to talk.
So, what would happen if you swallowed
Did we... I thought we killed the console from Alexandria's hero quest, though.
Depending on the concentration,
I could be wrong on that, but...
dizziness, numbness, diarrhea, emesis,
Vomiting.
and in more severe cases,
I'm surprised they'd use a word like emesis. I only know emesis because of my anatomy and physiology class. I didn't even learn that as far as I can remember from like high school science. But emesis is vomiting. It's why like hematemesis from Isaac is as stark as it is to say vomiting blood. Just interesting.
Ugh, enough.
Oh, fantastic. I managed to retrieve the logs. If we analyze them, we should be able to figure out where it came from. Is that okay?
Yeah. Didn't really
A-okay by
expect
me. We gotta stop the baddies.
medical terms to be used at all in this game.
All right then. Sorry to use your friend like this.
Looks like the friendship part might have all been in my head.
Oh, that's really sad.
But thanks for thinking of it that way anyway.
honestly, such carelessness.
Stop antagonizing him.
Alexandria?
I know this is your hero quest, not Valdi's,
Sad all
but
this time.
yeah.
Is something the matter? Anything we could help with?
I'm used to all this, and I hate it.
Oh, maybe just having to deal with
Alex?
sabotage and such.
Did you hear me?
It's nothing. You don't have to worry.
Okay.
All right. Analysis is complete.
I do like
You can unpack the data
both
whenever.
Valdi and Alexandria. Not as much as some of the other commanders, but they're likable.
Why don't you wait here?
For sure. I wonder, there's obviously going to be some explained reason, but it may be just kind of her guarded personality, but seriously. Feels like she's giving like these biting jabs at Valdi for no reason sometimes.
But there may be other machines like Rovo Buddy. You're the only one who can tell them apart. Let's tackle both threads simultaneously.
You're the only one who can tell them. To be fair, it wasn't exactly hard to tell that something was wrong with Robo Buddy when it just started firing a laser at the ground.
Yeah, okay. I'll stay in the colony this time then.
Mm.
Give Robo Buddy's boss my regards.
Okay. Interesting. It definitely is. I'm gonna investigate origin. This is something else entirely, I think. This goes back to curious about origin. I just have so many colonies I need to go back to and look at the kind of conversations and such that now exist. By the way, another track following mission. They actually make these pretty reasonable. Sometimes they're just... I've seen games where systems like this, where you're supposed to follow given tracks, they just kind of give you a little bit, and then it'll cut off, give you a little bit. And this one, I think, did something similar with, like, Gray's Hero Quest, I want to say. But it's still pretty obvious, even in the few times I've lost them on stuff like this. It's been pretty easy to find. I've seen ones where it just feels like it's
mostly aligned with yours.
You lose them and then you take forever to find them again. It's really annoying. Yeah, this has been interesting. Just to show... It makes sense that Alexandria's Hero Ascension Quest would explore some of her ties with helping other colonies. But I did not expect it to be so heavily tied into Valdi. Really cool, though, how a lot of these Ascension Quests have really taken a right turn into things that I didn't expect, personally. But that makes sense. It's been the same case with pretty much everything. I do kind of wish that it would have been interesting. I get that Kamarov and Ethel were very present in the story, and that's maybe why they just gave them that quick quote-unquote Ascension cutscene, basically, is what it was. But... I don't know. I think it would have been cool to see something a little bit more in-depth about them. But it wouldn't exactly have been balanced, to be fair, compared to a lot of the other heroes, but that's kind of the flip side when you consider that, again, they're very central heroes to the main story anyways. Either way, I wonder how far we're going here. Can't think of anything off the top of my head that would serve as a hideout around here, but I'm sure it's going to show us. I was also seeing some random stuff about, like, secret areas. Apparently you can go into Melia's room in Castle Kevis. I don't know how many secret areas there are in the game, because we found a few, but they weren't exactly super hidden. There was the one that we had to go to for pre-Seigiri quests, where it's like a giant floating grate thing in the sky island. There was also... There's the ones that the one that I've been leveling in. It's like a secret area in Lower Mokta Wildwoods, which I didn't even know Mokta Wildwood was a thing until, you know, we had to go there for, I think it was Side Story Noah. There was also the area where you find the Nopon Coin Exchange is technically a secret area. And I want to say, oh, there's the one by the Upper Mokta Wildwoods that I grinded level 60 enemies for a while as well. There's probably one or two more that I found, but those secret areas are just interesting because some of them are required by quests for you to visit them, and some of them you just probably would never find. Like, I was just randomly scrolling through YouTube, and it's one of those, you know, your search history starts to show your recommended. YouTube recommended gets memed all the time, but I find that when I'm watching a few specific content creators, like I've been rewatching some of like Hutz's Binding of Isaac content, stuff like that, it really does start to recommend stuff. I get Genshin Impact stuff and Xenoblade as of like the past few days, actually, in my feed now, pretty permanently. I spend a lot of my personal time on YouTube just because something to run in the background, whether I'm grinding or doing anything else. I don't really have much of a life, though, so, you know, there's that. Is this saying to cross the river, or? Looks like it. Unless... Wait. Was I supposed to inspect this? No.
Never a dull moment, eh?
Right after I was talking about how this game's really good about not losing the tracks, you would assume it's just... Oh, here it is, okay. I was like, you couldn't see it from across the river, and me being simple, I was a little bit confused. Because I'm the type of idiot that... mentioned this before, but I could do, like, super crazy academic stuff. I got, like, I was always told my sister's well, she's currently going back to school to get her nurse practitioner degree, but I was told that anatomy and physiology class was... She described it as being considered like the gatekeeper general class to getting into medical programs, because basically every medical program requires it. And I got like a 97 point something in that class. But then you turn around and I miss very obvious things.
You're not looking too well.
It's nothing.
Just thinking about the past. I wonder if she has a situation similar. It's probably not exactly like Ashira's little wound that seemingly reappears over time. I actually felt really bad for her because of that, because I really do like Ashira, so seeing such a just fun, I don't know, excitable character have something tragic like that happen, but it could just be former memories, stuff like that. I mean, if anyone's going to remember things, you'd think it'd be very powerful, prominent characters like the commanders. But it's just interesting, because Ethel as well did remember Kamurabi, but Ethel was also, at the time, a first-termer in the city, a place where she wouldn't have been to begin with. But Ethel was also seemingly aware of the cycle of rebirth before.
Let's search
So,
the surroundings.
let's see. But we're back to this battlefield of all places. Did not expect that, actually. I'm also wondering, I didn't know this is where it'd lead, but if you knew where the footstep quest led, could you just go straight there, or do you have to actually follow the checkpoint markers? Did RoboBuddy get here? Did Valdi let RoboBuddy chase us, or is this a different one? If it's from this battlefield, actually, I guess that would make sense to some extent. But I'm starting to wonder if a console does appear in this Ascension quest, it probably has to be the quote-unquote master of these Levnis. Yep. Interesting.
The oldest trick in the book. Dear Ouroboros, how do we
Huh.
ever fear you?
I know that screech. It's the
Yeah.
consul from Valdez.
So he's alive?
That does make sense, but... Yeah, I thought this console was dead. Oh.
Hey! Still talking here.
I'm sorry. I couldn't care less. How primitive can you get?
Oh my
You
gosh.
didn't really think you'd fooled me.
No.
Okay. And now he's gonna fire the Levnis at her. Oh. Huh.
I knew you for a craven, Alex. You were plainly going to secure the retreat.
Oh, so you do have two brains.
Oh no.
Everything's going numb.
Well, she did just get, like, shocked, so...
A very special Levnis that was. Oh, it isn't fast acting, so relax. I formulated
Oh.
a supply, you see.
So that's what they're talking about.
Colony 30.
Well, every console from a colony that survived where we freed their colony seems to be a bit... Oh, okay.
You worm.
But yeah, every console seems to hold a bit of a grudge toward their old colony if they survived.
I might arrange a whole different playtime.
Hmm.
We can create a tableau of your little act of betrayal. And see how you like it when you're the one being poisoned.
Oh.
Act of betrayal.
Was she the one who... No. She's panicking.
Mother! Stop spewing your idiot lies!
I...
Oh dear. You haven't
She said that she... You know, Tyan was pointing that out, but I didn't think Alexandria was the one behind it.
I guess they're no friends of yours.
Hmm. Interesting. E. Wait, really? Okay, that's what they're talking. Not the poison surrounding Valdi's place, but That's interesting. Was the previous commander like abusive or something like that? That's the only reason I could think about it if this is true.
He's telling the truth. I regret nothing. He wasted men and resources.
Oh.
Clung to outdated tactics.
Oh, is this she thought she could tyranny, okay.
Iota would surely have collapsed.
It's one of those things, I don't know if you could say it's excusable, but if it was like an abusive commander, if they were just kind of incompetent, I don't know if necessarily that's an argument for it, but
That's right.
Interesting.
And so, I'm not asking you to trust me.
Without having all the details, I mean, context really does matter. Because the way she said it was like, first she said his tyranny, well, she said he just wasted resources and people, which makes him just sound incompetent. But then they said his tyranny, so maybe he was like an abusive commander. We haven't really seen that since every commander seems to care very heavily for their colony, but... Yeah. Interesting. And as crafty as, you know, she can be, I don't think she would have done so if it wasn't justified. Again, it doesn't necessarily, well, justify killing someone, but they live in a world of war. So... But then this also turns around and makes me wonder, same thing with the Sena Gondor situation. What do we do in Valdi's hero quest? Hero Ascension quest, I mean. Since we've already so very clearly... Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, visually I still really like this class. I'm trying to remember what other classes we have active right now, though. We have... Looks like a Royal Summoner. We have a Signifer. We do have a Life Sage, I know. Let's see, our tank should be... I think we still have Zephyr and Lone Exile. So maybe what I'll do this stream is we'll switch around between... I'll probably keep Lanz on Rosa. And maybe I'll switch Mio around between some of the other attackers that we haven't enjoyed as much. Kind of try and see if we can't get a better opinion. One that's been on my mind about maybe trying again is Juniper's class, because I just was not a fan. Like, at all. Part of the reason I have Mio on this class, though, is because I wanted to keep... I was eventually just going to get Lone Exile and Zephyr up to 20 on everyone. Because they're the only two tank classes I really like running. And then keep the two new classes, which leads me to run a random healer and a random attacker. You know? But, that being said, maybe I should actually focus the Levenus and then just chain attack the console. I didn't think that this fight was going to take that long, given how fast the other fights recently have, but it is still a console. They do still seem to... I've honestly wondered if there's some kind of, like, damage scaling or something to that effect as well. Because that's how a lot of games handle you being extremely overpowered, and it does seem like 3 has kept in mind that a lot of players will be over-leveled. So, could be the case. Either way. This chain attack should finish off the console. I don't remember what Alexandria's chain bonus is either. During chain attack increases critical rate. That could be good. I really doubt we'll need it, but... First in line to attack, all attacks crit. Okay. So, she's kind of similar to Ethel in that she gets a bunch of TP, but she needs to be the leader of the chain. By that same logic, though, I don't know, did Ethel bring anything else aside from that? I'm trying to remember. Because Ethel would just seem like her big shtick was as long as she leads chain, she gets an absurd amount of TP. Whereas Alexandra here forces crits, which isn't bad, honestly. Yeah, I'm still just curious about what happened with her old commander. Dude, I wonder if crits and stacking... Crits and bypassing defense probably actually do stack. Although I don't know if... I think it was guarantees crits for the chain so long as... Oh, that actually completed that. So long as Alexander starts that chain order. And then her actual chain order just raises the critical hit percentage in general. For, like, everything. If that makes sense. Like if she wasn't the one to lead, then we'd get the benefit of her actual chain order. Whereas if she is the one to lead, she's guaranteed to crit. Do I just go straight here? This chain attack isn't doing as much damage as I thought it might. But I guess there's no need to keep leading with Alexandria from here on out. We could get the guaranteed crits, but we can get more attacks in here, I think, if we just do this. As to whether or not that leads to more damage, couldn't tell you, but... Like here, if we just led with Alexandria again, she would have instantly finished the chain, whereas we were able to use literally everyone else instead. Although we will finish with her, I think, here. Because that'll give us an amazing... Yeah, the chain didn't do that much damage. Because we are like 25 levels up on this enemy. And even when we were similar in level, good chain attacks were doing like half of a console's health. It might finish him off, actually. Because these Hero Ascension quests, though, are going pretty fast, I'm considering doing Fiona's prerequisites for Ascension quests, so we could maybe start with that next time. Because Signifer is one that I've been talking about wanting to ascend for some time, and we're doing Miyabi's as well, but I'm thinking I do prefer Signifer to Troubadour if I'm running a Life Sage. I still like having the double utility combo. I've considered for like challenge mode, if I need to be safer, running Nia as my healer and running double utility healers. Because the utility Troubadour and Signifer bring is actually... I quite like it. It just lacks on that pure healing power that some other classes have. It's why for finishing out the main story we're really grateful to have a medic gunner. Because it allowed us to run like a utility healer, but not completely give up on having just pure healing power if we got chunked, which would happen. Especially if we didn't have chain attack active to heal everyone real quick. Why is he attacking her?
Alex!
Oh. Well, you assumed she wouldn't die, but interesting.
I see a blind spot.
There's another, like, 5 of us, dude. Not exactly a blind spot.
You have to, or you'll...
That's okay.
Alex, you said it yourself. You were counting on us.
You could also pull her up instead of having this conversation.
This here's my friend. So back off!
How is he missing? Oh, I was gonna say, he shot like 20 shots and hit 1. Oh my gosh. Oh. Well, that's lucky 7 for you. You don't even need Ouroboros interlink. You need to smack him with something that can destroy flame clocks.
You can say that again.
Oi! What the spark were you playing at?
What do you mean? We caught Alexandria.
I seriously thought you'd snuff it.
Well, were you supposed to just leave her to fall off the cliff?
Hey, I trust you. I knew you'd make it in time.
Probably.
What?
On what basis?
Well, I didn't exactly have time to ponder it.
Yeah.
You smug little clod.
Oh my gosh.
Please don't frighten me like that.
Oh. Something about when Mio says it instead of Lanz and Tyon, though. Granted, Mio said it in a very wholesome way, and Lanz and Tyon were kind of being a little sassy.
But why? How can you do those things? You could have died.
Yeah, technically.
Yes, that's just Noah's way.
How have you survived this long if you're always so careless?
I think she mentions us being careless when we recruit her, too.
I'm telling you, we count on
It's
one
been a
another.
while.
That's how we've learned to do it.
It's kind of the downside of having so many... Like, I've really enjoyed the hero quests and the ascension quests and the main story, but when there's so much content, it's kind of hard to call up specific things like this
I'm not explaining it right.
so much later.
But in any case, I think there's something rather elegant at the heart of it.
Yeah.
So that's what you call strategy? I swear, you Ouroboros must be the most
I mean,
peculiar
Tyann is our
people I've
tactician,
met.
but I feel like half the time he just gets pulled into whatever nonsense we're doing.
Too peculiar to trust?
If you were, I'd have been long gone. Thank you for trusting me.
Yeah. Is she gonna explain what happened to her previous commander?
Let's get back to Valdi. He's probably getting
Maybe
worried.
not. I mean, again, it just... When she mentioned the tyranny, you would have to believe, even for someone who's a bit devious, like Alexandria, it wouldn't have happened without a reason. And her colony does very clearly trust her. They respectfully always refer to her as Dame Alex. There was probably a very justifiable reason. You know. But it goes back to the whole, can you... It's still murder. They still poisoned their former commander. And I'm getting the feeling it's not going to be explained if we're just coming back to the colony here.
Hey, welcome back, you guys. That was shocking news you sent. Didn't think I'd hear about Q again. I'm sorry about putting you through that.
Don't worry about it.
I'm trying to remember, wasn't Q the one, though, that there was like an explosion in this colony?
And I'm sure Gambert
I
has
thought
been
that was the
absorbing it
case.
all like a sponge.
Dame Alex, about that. Respectfully, there's something I'd like to discuss, if you please.
You want to stay here, don't you?
It's not exactly a far-off colony, but... That, I mean... I don't know if that's that crazy. Did he make friends with the Nopon?
Well then, Valdi,
That's pretty wholesome.
what would you say if I proposed a temporary staff exchange? Gambert, for one of your mechanics?
Okay.
Dame Alex. Really?
Just trying to get a bit of equal
Intellectually
exchange, but...
stimulating for both our sides.
All right, sounds cool. Let me quickly talk to my buds.
Dame Alex, what's brought this on?
Pardon? Brought what on?
Yeah, she's gonna pretend it never happened.
We got the okay. They say they'll move ASAP.
Very good. This should help
Okay.
foster better relations.
She's
between
not
our
being quite as
colonies.
antagonist. Like, I don't know. Maybe it was her recalling those memories about the poison and stuff. They kind of seem to imply that, but...
What do you mean better? We're
Yeah.
already fast friends.
It's just Valdi very quickly dropped his guard around Alexandra, and Alexandra kept being, at the start at least, a little bit...
I misspoke.
I don't know if I want to say mean, but...
Gambit, come on.
Make me a little bit sad with the way she was treating Valdi for a bit.
Huh?
Wasn't exactly like, I don't know if I'd say... It was more like passive-aggressive than just mean, but still.
Well, that's one thing taken care of.
Either way, though.
Right. About that.
We won't tell anyone about what Q said.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not like you could get court-martialed for it at this point.
that too. You know, they're not even part of the flame
For
plots
the record,
anymore.
though, I can't say I approve of your methodology.
Indeed. If you try something like that again, well, we'll just have to stop you.
Well, she's the commander of her colony now. What's she gonna do?
And then we'll put our heads together to come up with a less bloody way.
Hmm.
So no more agonizing alone. Got it?
That's reassuring.
Okay.
If that's how you really feel, then let us help you. That is, since we're friends now and all.
Thank you.
Sure. And thank you too.
That was for saving me earlier. I hadn't had a chance to say it sooner.
Oh, okay.
You really didn't have to.
It would have eaten at me if I didn't.
Yeah, that's fair.
I have to say, I thought you were more chill than that.
More chill.
Aw, she's actually kind of a sweetheart, ain't she?
What? Are you making fun of me?
It's just a bit of friendly banter. You'll get used to it in no time.
Yeah.
So she's learned how to open up a little. Good for her.
Okay. So we didn't really get a bit more of an explanation as to, like, what exactly it was. But, I mean, it wasn't... I don't know. I was really hoping, even if it wasn't necessary, and I think that's the reasoning, is it's not exactly necessary, but to know what exactly it is. Because all she said was, you know, he was a fool, a tyrant, and was, like, misappropriating, I think it was, resources and manpower. But we also got some more Colony Iota goods here, so... I don't know who we haven't given them to in terms of the commanders. I'll probably figure that out later. Either way, the last one of the main 3 we're planning to do. These have actually not taken us much time. We're only an hour and a half in the stream, and we've been... I was planning on streaming for about 3 hours today. Miyabi's could be longer, but Miyabi's was the last of the main 3. After that, we'll kind of see. Because I also want to do, like I was saying earlier, some of the requirements so we could prep some of the other hero quests. Because there are a good number, but this should be Miyabi's. Because this question mark isn't here when she's not in the party. Yeah, that was interesting. Another hero quest that was... It's not the same as Sena's, where it felt like Gondor and Shania were the focal point of Sena's, you know, Ascension quest, but Valdi was very, very prominent in that one. Interesting. But yeah. I still don't know how to feel about... Like, I do like basically every hero. I think some of the heroes that... And maybe it's just because we haven't gotten enough time to get to know them yet, but like Gray, we just don't know enough about. I mean, we got the whole side mission where he takes off his mask and met his wife, and she seemed really nice. But Gray, we haven't really gotten too close to. Teach is another one that we haven't really interacted with enough. But almost every other hero, you know, I think is very likable. And I don't think that like those ones are unlikable. I think we just don't know a whole lot about him. Because Gray's obviously his whole shtick is that he doesn't like talk to anyone. And then Teach was just a bit of a weird one because he was one of those like very logical, similar to Alexandria actually, in that his whole deal when we first met him was that he took us way out where, decided to fight us, decided to ask us our ideologies, and then said, okay, he kind of deduced, almost like a judge, that he felt we were telling the truth. And then he presented to the console, and that's how we fought the console. But just interesting stuff. As compared to like other ones, like Xeon's very... I feel like a lot of the Kevis side of the commanders, like Xeon and Ethel are perfect examples, but they're more like a militaristic sense. I don't know if that really makes sense, because you've got members like Alexandria who's always talking about like battle tactics and stuff like that, but I just feel like these two in particular, especially, are more like, they feel to me more like conventional military leaders. Whereas almost like Teach and Alexandria to me feel, and Izard also just, they feel more like tacticians to me, if that makes sense. I don't know if that's intentional, and maybe that's just me having a bad read on it, but that's just kind of the way I see things. But yeah, Miyabi is here, and I remember, I mean, Miyabi's been hanging around the city when she's not in the party, so see what's about here. This is another one, though, that I really don't even have a general idea. Like, Alexandria's had a vague idea of what could happen. I don't know what could happen in Miyabi's.
It seems pretty lively over there. What's the occasion? There's supposed to be some kind of cooking contest.
Oh, okay.
Maybe they're preparing for it.
Maybe Manana wants to participate.
Say cooking
Yeah.
You think they'd let me participate?
Does Lanz cook?
Huh? I didn't know you cooked, Lanz.
Me? Nah.
Oh, he just wants... Honestly, fair enough.
Oh, maybe I should join too.
Hey there, folks.
Oh, hi, Travis.
Travis? Monica?
Travis...
We just heard about
I don't know if I've said this before, but to me, I've just always figured that Travis was meant to be like the lieutenant, kind of filling the situation if Monarch is effectively the commander of this colony. Well, not colony, the city, but, you know.
You know how the world is. Can't set foot outside without putting yourself in danger. People are going stir crazy, all shut up with nowhere to go.
Yeah, the city's a decent-sized place, but eventually, you know, if you can't go anywhere else, it's not really an issue I have. I sit in my room 90% of my time I can, but...
Entertainment to diffuse some of that stress. So these contests are kind of a regular thing.
We also have, like, video games and YouTube and technology. I used to read a lot, but...
Seems like the perfect opportunity for you to
eventually you could run out of books.
To sample the food?
The way he said that. To sample the food?
Ah, I'm afraid the judges are selected by majority vote. They've already been decided well in advance. That said,
It's just, they sink.
Among the audience.
Oh, and there they go.
Like a
chefs.
Do any of us cook aside from Manana?
Manana been champing at bit for cookery action.
Yeah, this event's pretty much made for Manana.
Yeah. I wonder, since this is Miyabi's Ascension quest, does Miyabi cook?
Could I join as well?
Huh.
I like your spirit.
I know.
You're both very welcome.
Well, Miyabi was always introduced as like the clumsy character who became an officer. She.
Looks like you'll have your work cut out for you, eh, boss?
Huh.
You said it, Travis. I'll let you prepare the lucky spice.
Okay.
Oh, crap. Not that stuff.
The lucky spice. Is Monica cooking as well?
There are no binding rules, no themes.
I wonder who the judges
you like.
are. You would wonder if they're like actual named characters or if they're just random characters, you know?
Once you have them, take them to Michiba at her canteen. She'll hold on to them for you.
Hearing loud and clear.
I'll see you at the contest then.
Looking forward to it.
Hmm. The way I see this is either Miyabi ends up being a surprisingly good cook. Oh, okay. Well, that's wholesome. We're rivals. But the way I see it is either Miyabi's a surprisingly good cook, or this is going to be like a... like A from Genshin Impact type situation where...
Yes.
She like touches something and it explodes.
Since when did you learn to cook, Miyabi?
Hmm.
You never told me.
I've only dabbled, really.
Okay.
Right. We better go out looking for our ingredients, eh?
Am I gonna have to hunt them down, or can I just use what I have?
Ah, just testing you.
Before we decide,
Yeah.
maybe we should ask around the city first. See what kind of foods they like. Their
Okay.
favorite seasonings. That should give us enough to make a start on.
True. We need some kind of direction to start with before we can think about making anything.
Okay. Well. Miyabi has a very level head about it. I wonder if anyone's participating though, if we're just supporting these two.
I was just thinking, it's unusual for Miyabi to voice her interest in something like this.
Okay. Well, they never really likely got the chance when they were off-series.
Before, she'd always tried to avoid anything that involved competition.
Oh.
So this
That
is
also sounds a bit like her.
kind of a surprise.
Well, it's not like a fighting competition, which is probably the only thing you'd think would be
I see.
relevant to them.
All the more reason for us to cheer her on.
Yeah.
Hmm. Happiness, huh? No, I think it's good that they actually have the opportunity to
Someone who catches our
see
eye?
things like this.
I think we'd be better off asking the folk at the canteen, though. They must know lots about the contest.
Peeper's Pop, huh? Fierce wave of emotion. So QBB here wants something strong? Maybe spicy? Oh, it's gonna show up as an actual... Okay. Conversation at a rest spot. Well, we do spawn in here right at a rest spot nearby, so... Strange delicacies, traditional meals. They did say there's no limit to what it could be. They love just about everything. Oh, okay, so they do change out the judges every single time. That makes sense. Even if it was by, like, majority vote, maybe they try to make sure, even with the majority vote, maybe you're disqualified from doing it multiple years in a row. Something that, to that extent. Would make sense. Okay. Just gonna see if there were any closer travel points to these other ones. Oh, it's above. Okay. Yeah, I really am wondering. It could just be random characters, but the way they made it sound is not Travis and Monica. I don't know at what point in the story this one takes place. I didn't check. So... Oh, it's Gray's wife. But,
People were saying she won the contest before.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I wonder if... it's like someone we know, is just the idea here. I'm gonna rinse the competition here. Big hearty meals. Okay. Something filling. So filling, they're talking about like spices. punching in portions. Interesting. Yeah, so Kubibi said something like with big, bold, like, flavors, I think it was. Something with potentially spice. Second person just said, oh, whatever, you can't game the system. She said something big and hearty. Huh. I mean, I don't know what they could possibly make.
Can we find out something from May?
May? I don't recall why
gave
she...
me a nibble, dipped in chocolate sauce
A
the other
nibble.
day.
Oh, is she gonna say something sweet then? I'm trying to remember who this character is, actually. Everyone gets a bite of the winning dish. I mean, how much do they cook of the winning dish if everyone in the city gets a bite? Alright, yeah, I'll have to discuss this topic here.
We've heard from lots of people now. That's making me hungry. I'm getting peckish.
I keep forgetting too, when I'm here I should probably pick up a meal, because I don't think I have one active. XP boost. Not necessary, but it's better than using my own resources or Nopon coins, I think. Although I don't know, I know Minana, when you eat at a canteen, she gets a new recipe, and it's not actually the exact same one as the one you buy. But 1500 gold, I'd rather just keep my resources and hoard them, honestly, until I figure out what I need. This is, by the way, the one that I got for Fiona. It's one of the ones we have to do eventually to get hers unlocked.
Hey, so, can we talk?
Okay. She wanted to win, did she? Oh, okay, so she's not looking to win. She wanted to show them appreciation. Oh, okay. That does sound quite a bit like Miyabi. Ulterior motive. I like Miyabi though. She's a sweetheart. She's one of those characters similar to how Yoren's affected a lot of them, like the Kavesi side of things. Noah, Lanz especially. Miyabi really heavily affected the character growth of Sena to some extent, I think, but Mio especially. Mio is who she is at this point in the story because of Miyabi. Yeah, you'd probably just go with something neutral. Secret weapon, huh? I really do wonder if... I mean, it's Miyabi's ascension quest, but that doesn't mean she wins. I mean, Minana is literally our chef. Huh. Motomara's Aries meat, Killjoy crusted meat. Roga Eggum's Lucky Mare Thick Guts. Why do I feel like we have to go find these smooshy rice, refreshing Pranix meat, glitter radishes, soy pre-mush? Okay. Okay, that makes sense. Makes something that anyone could recreate. Alright, so we're probably gonna have to go find them then. Hopefully we have a good chunk of them, because I'm not exactly looking forward to... I might even have to look it up if it doesn't give me a... Okay, good. You only needed one of each. So we just need to go talk to somebody for... I think it was that... the last thing she was talking about. I don't remember what it's called, but something that she said we could ask someone around in the city.
I wonder what they're drawing there.
I still can't get over the fact that this character's name is literally Boomer. So it's actually the composer of that sheet music side quest that we were looking at a long time ago, but they had to have known. There's no way they didn't. Jeez. Hi, Boxy.
Boxy.
Oh, hey, Miyabi. You're with your friends today?
Yes. sorry if we're bothering you.
It makes sense though. Kamaravi, Ethel, and Miyabi, you would think, have kind of built up a bit of a relationship with some of the people in the city since they've been living here for a while. Which makes me wonder again, where does this has to take place after we freed the 3 of them from Colony Omega.
Actually, I've decided to enter the cooking contest.
Oh, really?
I'd like it if you came. I'm going to try as hard as I can.
Sweetie, I would love to. I'll be cheering you on all the way.
There's one other thing. I have a request. If it's not too much trouble.
Tell me, anything I can do to help?
Would you mind sharing some of your soy primo sauce?
Soy primo sauce is what it was. Okay.
My sauce is going to feature. This just keeps getting better and better. Please.
I thought the point was for it to be like, I guess she said something like homemade, but that anyone could make. But if it takes a specific soy primo sauce,
I'm sure it'll be enough. But
maybe I'm overthinking it. I'm not a cook. I can only make things that you can put the recipe on the box. So there is that.
I've got jars full of this stuff.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
You're getting awfully worked up about all this. Just relax and enjoy the experience.
Yes, Mom.
Now, what did I just say?
I feel like a disappointment, Anna, but I actually kind of hope Miyabi wins, just because I think it's one of those things that for characters that aren't as confident, and I can speak for this on some things from experience, you know? I think just having an experience like this go well could be really important, even though she said, you know, she's not in it to win. She's trying to give back to the people of the city to some extent. I think that it would be really good for her.
That's making me hungry. Are you guys hungry?
I'm really realizing too, I have not talked to a lot of the people. There's a lot of NPCs in every place that I haven't talked to that could give me some free affinity.
Yes, I think so. Thank you. Now for bananas. What was on the list again?
Was Mottle Marble Aries meat, Killjoy crusted meat, Cozy Rogel egg gems, and Lucky Marin thick cuts.
Okay.
Might be a bit tricksy for friends, but Manana have confidence.
Well, if there are 4 things we have to hunt down, maybe we're lucky. Crud. We have none of them. That's fine. All of these hero ascension quests have been, well, the 2 we've done so far have been really, really fast, and you would assume that as the cooking well, as an ascension quest, we're probably gonna have to fight someone. What console would we fight in the city? Because every ascension quest that I can think of, we did fight a console, which makes sense, but at the very least, we should have basically every, oh, there's a unique here. I didn't know that. We have basically every area, I think, major area explored, so most likely we'll be okay finding what we need. Here we go. It's the big one with the horns. You know what, now that I think about it, I said we'd try some other attacker weapons that we haven't used in a bit, so after this fight we'll switch over. Since it seems like all of Manana's material, we've aggroed like everything in the area. All of Manana's materials are things that we have to farm, because we didn't have any of them. Although it goes back to what they said, I mean, Manana was likely to use more, I don't know, exotic materials. Whereas Miyabi said she wanted to make something like she could make at home. I think that kind of suits both their characters, though. Manana is like the big, fancy chef of the group that keeps us all fed on our journey. Whereas Miyabi's just here to be wholesome.
I'd say we were moving in sync.
Yeah, let's, I mean, without switching a bunch of classes around, I'm just gonna switch whatever Mio's on. Because the idea here is, like I was saying, I like these 2 tanks, so I could use one of these 3 as an attacker, but I want to keep in these 3 classes. So let's try things out. Yeah, it really goes to show, I haven't leveled... Oh! Oh no, actually, I haven't... Have I not leveled... Okay, I was about to say, have I not leveled... I thought I had leveled the Inheritor of every class to 10. That's important. I'll double check to make sure at least I have a level 10 character for every class, but I'm pretty sure I do. Because that would be a really awkward gatekeeper if I was going to do a hero quest and then realized I did not. Anyway, let's try this though. Because, seriously, this class just, I'm not a big fan of. But maybe I just need some time. It just felt really, really bad to me. Okay, we don't have this area explored. But we have a really fast ship, so should not be an issue. The old ship, though, was not, like, it didn't take a very long time to get anywhere, but then we got the new one with the boosters. Kinda wild. But the Cadenzia region is just one that I, like, I don't think you need to fully map out a lot of the other areas. It just kind of comes naturally if you're just exploring. But this region, you would literally have to, like... It would take a long time to fully map it out, so... The fact that there are somewhat random islands out here that I haven't explored isn't the most surprising thing in the world to me. Still don't know. I think there's... I don't know if there's uniques out here, but I still have no idea how hard it'd be to bait some of these monsters. Because everything seems to have aggro range. I've had multiple enemies that I try to pull them over to a specific place so I could fight them. Like, there's a unique at the base of, like, a waterfall in a little ravine. And it basically instantly de-aggroed as soon as I'd like, aggro it with a rock. Try to pull it back, and it instantly de-aggro. Really annoying, actually. But yeah, this goes back to what I was talking about. I have a really hard time getting the auto attack cancel, because you would think, just looking at the model of the character, it's right as you release the arrow, but I don't get it a lot of the time. Well, there I think I canceled it before she even fired, but I just have a really hard time with this class. I think what I am doing though is genuinely, I'm trying to cancel an art before she's releasing the attack. And as always, canceling arts into arts is really easy. But like, this class is just... I think it would feel better if there was actually more range to it. Because I've mentioned this before, but a lot of the quote-unquote long-range classes don't feel long-range. They're obviously better than melees, but it does not feel like you get very far. But yeah, I do think part of the reason I'm not getting to cancel all the time is I canceling it right before the arrow even gets launched. But like there, I didn't get it either. It's... That's obviously, I would say, a skill issue. But it's part of what makes this class feel really, really bad to me. Oh, this is outside Colony Lambda, isn't it? Hmm. Yeah, we use this for like one more fight and then maybe switch off. I don't like playing this class. I thought maybe we'd go back, use it for a couple battles, and I was immediately reminded of why I don't like playing this class. There's uniques up here too, that could be... If we have to fight those uniques, I didn't even know those were there, because the only time I've actually been up to this particular spot is when we had to find... It was in the Three Ravens at War Quest. And we just ran up to the top here, found the person on the left. But that's a lot of uniques. What? They're only level 29s. Oh no, the uniques are 64. This thing's only level 29. That's random. I will have to remember to come back here, though. With a soul hacker. I usually just try to mark things like that and then come back. Here we go. Let me just...
Let's go here.
Oh. I'm thinking Genshin. In Genshin, you can't mark right on your character's cursor on the map for some reason. Is there a closer one? No, this is probably the closest. Yeah, what's another attacking class, though, that we haven't used a whole lot? Trying to think. I guess we could go back to using Sena's as well. It's up there. Did I go to the wrong spot, then? No, I think we're fine here. Some of these desert places, you have to go through some weird paths. Yeah, Soul Hacker I haven't played a whole lot just because it's Soul Hacker. I've leveled a bunch of people because I've... Is everyone at... Almost everyone's at 10 with Soul Hacker because I've constantly kept one in the party when I fought Uniques off stream. But as far as actually playing the class, I don't do it a whole lot. But yeah, you know what? Why not? I guess it makes sense to try and play some of the classes that we have ascended as well. I mean, as far as I know, past 10, the big ascension bonuses is once you get to level 20, you get to keep their A art, not just some of their other skills. If you go to other classes. Not that I think I would, but you can. Yeah, this class I remember... This was one of those classes that suffers from the opposite problem as like Sword Fighter, or whatever it is that, I think it's called Sword Fighter. Because as an Aghanim class, I feel like you want to attack fast, because you recover your arts through auto-attacking. Whereas this class attacks very slowly. That being said though, I'm not a fan of Lanz's weapons either. I'm usually like a strength player in games like Dark Souls and Bloodborne and such. But I think in this game, with how much you want to cancel everything into arts, I just don't know if I like being a slow auto-attacking weapon in general. For like any reason. That might just be me though. I just think it does not feel as good. Not that this weapon I think does attack a little bit faster than Lanz does. But it's also part of the reason why I feel like Interlink can feel a little bit janky. Because Interlink does take a hot second to get some of the attacks off. And it's why prior to unlocking Arch Chaining, I think Interlink feels a little bit clunky. But that also could be because you have a given time limit on your Interlink. So it feels like you need to make the most use out of it, and then you're spending here waiting, like thinking, okay, hurry and auto attack so I can chain an art. Either way though, I wonder if I didn't even think we got any extra. Trying to think. I wonder if it did matter if we did Miyabi's or Bananas first. Didn't seem like it. Probably just it's gonna have you track one or the other type of thing.
Ah, that's making me. Are you guys hungry?
Oh, hey, Mama. Wamba.
That's all of the ingredients for the both of them.
Yeah.
Tippy toppy job.
Got everything you need
I'm
now?
Ichiba.
Then I think it's about time to start the contest. Is everyone ready?
Yeah, can't think of a reason why we'd wait. Ow. Just punched my desk on accident.
Looks like both the chefs and
I don't have a mic arm yet, so I have to set mine on my desk and move my chair real close actually. And I also have to be in view of my camera. I just use my phone for my model, but it makes it really annoying. So I'm so up close to my desk that if I shift sometimes I just knee or like punch my desk on accident.
Well, ladies and gents,
I do need to get a mic arm though.
Another annual cook-off. And who else to narrate the events as they unfold but the city's #1 charmer?
Oh.
Just kidding, it's me, Travis, your ever-affable
Oh my
Lost Numbers
gosh.
lieutenant.
Oh, he is the lieutenant. Sorry, I know they pronounce it lieutenant. Where I live, it's always lieutenant, and I just have a really hard time. It's just one of those things. I don't know if it's a dialect type thing, because it's obviously still English. But it's just in my brain, I have a hard time calling it lieutenant.
Our expert panel of judges. The lucky 4 adjudicators for this year's incredible turnout are...
Okay, well, one's obviously Gondor.
Drum roll, please.
She's sitting right there.
Gondor! You've been begging to be a judge for ages now. Looks like it's your lucky
Okay.
day.
Oi! Don't you bloody patronize me. You'll be laughing on the other side of your face if you're not careful.
Oh my gosh.
Moving swiftly on.
Poor Travis. He basically gets like pushed around by like a first term Ethel for a little bit. Gondor, Monica. Man just can't catch a break.
You fancy yourself an avid foodie? Well, let's see how you measure up to the
Well, I don't
erudite well.
know if we've met well before. Probably in passing.
Next up, a lover of music and all things lyrical,
Mr.
it's Mr. Boomer.
I can't take it seriously. We have met this character before through a side quest, but still. Like, really? Can you imagine being like a judge or an announcer or a referee for something and being like, here, this is Mr. Boomer.
He's got a refined palate for music and food, and I'm sure he's about to give us a piece of his mind. Last but not least, we have our youngest judge on introducing San.
San.
As far as I can tell, he just plain enjoys food. He'll eat whatever you can throw at him.
That's actually wholesome that they let a kid be a judge, you know? One of those things that makes really good memories for them.
Give me all your food.
We want you four to judge the meals on their own merits as honestly as possible. Now, let's introduce our
How many participants are there, though? They made this sound like a citywide thing, you know? Nisik. Another character I think we've met in passing.
Think you've got the potential to be numero uno?
Oh, is he unhappy that Gondor's a judge?
Watch it, you. No intimidating the judges. You're gonna scare the kid. You want to settle the score? You do it with food.
Good old Travis.
Next up, it's our very own boss.
Yeah, Simonica is... Ow! Just yanked my headphone cord. Simonica is participating.
Or should that be Elder? Let's just
I don't know if I'd call Monica Elder to her face. Sounds like a bad idea.
Who's next?
All right, boss it is. Next, we have Ouroboros' very own queen of cuisine, Manana.
Manana ready to steal away hearts and stomachs of all.
And whispers on the grapevine tell me our last contestant is a rising star.
Okay.
She's everyone's sweetheart, Miss Miyabi.
You go, girl.
Suboxy did show up to cheer her on.
And those are our 4 entrants for today.
Oh, only for today. Huh. Maybe it's a multi-day event.
Then Nisik, if you'd like to
I know, they made it seem like such a big thing. I get that the city's not the biggest place in the world, but... I also thought there'd be a much bigger crowd here. Is that a lobster?
So cool.
Well, well, well.
Is that gonna be Well's gimmick?
Applying heat
Jeez.
emergence of emerald green undertones.
Don't like lobsters and such and crabs turn like a very bright red when you boil them, as compared to where they are.
Shell gradually
So,
transluce as it shine with beryl glaze. Behold, the jade lobster.
Is this thing edible?
She's antagonizing him. I haven't had lobster, but I've heard crab's like really sweet.
This is pretty tasty and juicy.
Contrary to expectation.
Contrary to expectation.
Inside mouth. Big bang of umami fill entire taste buds.
Is that all Boomer's gonna say?
Hey, how are you supposed to eat this?
Oh.
I don't get it.
That's fair.
Maybe Nisik would be kind enough to assist.
I beg your pardon?
It's a kid. The kid's ever seen like a lobster before?
Check in with our next culinary combatant. It's our very own boss.
I'll find a chink in your armor.
Oh my gosh. Here Nisik was thinking that she was going to be antagonistic to him. And Gondor was just trying to sabotage
My
Monica.
dish is the Monicurry special.
Monica. Little puns like that always make me laugh.
How's that fair?
Oh?
Oh, it's got tasty sausages in it.
Well, well, well.
Oh my
Only
gosh.
heard rumors, but Monicurry said to be legendary meal among lost numbers.
I'll have me some of that.
I thought it was only the winner's dish, but...
Damn you, bitch queen. You got the spiciness spot on.
That's really funny. Oh, he didn't say this time. Something different.
These vegetables, flavor normally distinctive yet subtly veiled here, and spiciness perfectly compensate. But despite this, single plate appear positively heaped with nutrition.
Yeah, makes sense.
Spice renowned, or something?
You gotta make something practical, almost like an MRE or something. Don't they have like a curry MRE?
It's making my tongue all prickly.
Might not be the most popular with the kid. I liked spicy foods when I was a kid. I actually enjoyed spicy food more than I do now.
Oops. Guess the kids' taste buds weren't quite prepared for that just yet.
Funny. Everyone normally loves the stuff. Did I add too much lucky spice?
Well, I mean...
I'm sure your bellies are gradually getting rounder, but
there's 2 more contestants. But Gondor said it was good. Boomer seemed to like it. I think it was just for a kid, you know? That makes me think Monica probably doesn't win, though, because you have to please all 4 judges. Gave something really spicy to a child. But how are you supposed to know? They said it's the youngest judge ever for the competition. So, no really way to tell. It's probably something exotic, given what we hunted down. What? What's unique? Is that just... That looks like literally just an uncooked egg. Like she just stuck a little flag in an egg and just set it on top. I'll eat raw eggs. Doesn't actually bother me, but... Not exactly the tastiest thing, but...
Whoa! That's gonna be a banger!
Interesting.
Ears of well might form small pools.
Ah, well, it didn't say well.
Exist that could recreate a recipe of legend.
Okay. Has Boomer actually said an actual word this entire time as a judge?
Give me more of this meat.
Not a sound?
Well, never dream of chance to eat perfect doodle noodles in lifetime. Taste is
There we go.
beyond compare.
So do they go with the predictable... Well, I guess you could argue the best for last, letting Miyabi win her own Ascension class competition would also be semi-predictable, but I had assumed it would be Manana or, you know, Miyabi here.
Well, rocket into skies above.
How the crap is this so good? I don't know what to say.
Poor Miyabi has to follow that up, though.
Competition's fierce, but we've got one more dish lined up for you all. Take it away, Miyabi.
Okay.
Hopefully they at least like it, even if she doesn't win. I'd be really sad for her if they weren't so... Oh, okay. Oh, what was that noise?
It doesn't look very special.
Well, you don't have to be mean.
When you put
That's
it
a kid.
alongside the others, yeah.
But it clearly made with love. Preparation of dish reflect nature of chef. And this...
Oh, I did. Oops.
Ah, it feels
I try not to cut off anyone when they're voice lining, because not every quest is voiced.
comforting.
So understated, yet so palatable. Hard to express in words. Like warmth-filling entire body.
Okay.
I eat this fish all the time, but I don't think it's ever been this tasty before.
I'm glad it turned out well. I was really, like I was saying at the very beginning of this quest, I was like, this is either going to be an A situation with Genshin where it's just the worst thing ever and it's such a disaster, or it's actually good. And it looks like it turned out nice.
I wonder how she prepared it. I'd love to know.
Same. Why don't we go and ask her once the contest's over?
May, you have
Hey.
the best idea.
Well, it looks like she's gotten what... That was the point, though. She wanted to get back to the residents of the city, give them something that they could prepare on their own. Nobody's going to be able to make Manana's dish ever.
They look like they're loving the soy primo sauce too.
Oh, he actually said... Maybe she does win. He actually said something. And based on the reaction, I'd still maybe say Manana, but based on plot...
I hate to break it to you folks, but it's time for the judges to make their decision. Which of these 4 outstanding meals...
See, the thing is, do they each vote on one, or do they have to come to a consensus? Because there are 4 cooks and 4 judges. Ordinarily, you'd think there'd be, like, an odd number.
The winner of this year's cooking contest is...
So they do just have a... is it Miyabi? You would really think it'd be Manana. But... oh, looks like they did kind of share all the dishes. That's good. They made it sound like it was just the winning dish that everyone got to taste, but... I feel like for like something like this, it'd be the most wholesome if everyone just got to... try every dish. Yeah, Lanz and Sena are gonna have everything. Riku has like 6 bowls of bananas. But yeah, they didn't tell us outright.
Congratulations, Manana.
Okay, it was Manana. To be fair, you know, we talk about it being predictable, but it was either going to be Manana or Miyabi. But again, it goes for what they were saying. Manana made like a very legendary Nopon dish, wanted to go into win, whereas Miyabi just wanted to make something to get back to the city, and that's what she's doing here.
Feels good at top.
Better luck next time, Miyabi. Thanks, everyone. You all helped me so much. I didn't make first place, but I'm glad everyone got the chance to try my food. Manana was kind enough to raise the idea.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Manana.
Aw, not to mention, would be terrible shame for friends to miss out on delicious nom-noms of Miyabi.
Nisik looks in a right mood.
He's probably not happy that he didn't win, but he's trying the winning dish.
I can hear you.
Can't let him get away with this, though, can we? We'll lend you a hand next time.
Okay.
How'd you like the monikari, Gondor?
Oh, it's going back to the... Man, I just love the fact that, like, they really do try to develop this relationship that was introduced as being on such poor terms at the start.
Why are you asking me? Same as you always make it. The name
I think it's the best thing, honestly.
something better?
You say that every time. I don't see the problem, personally. I actually kind of like it.
I'm not asking your opinion. I'm saying it's freaking embarrassing.
I've still got some left, by the way. You want a bowl or not?
Okay.
Don't change the subject. And of course I want a bowl.
Oh, that contest was so much fun.
Maximum agree. Plus was big learning experience. Can see Manana need to greatly expand repertoire.
Really? She made like the most diverse dish, I think, of all of them.
If that's your plan,
Oh, okay.
would you mind teaching me some more about cooking?
Mama? Even though Miyabi already
Huh?
plenty good at cooking.
Same thing as Valdi wanting to learn from Riku. There's always more to learn.
I'm honored that you'd say so. But I really don't have a lot of experience. I'd love it if you could teach me some more.
She didn't get the chance to a lot of the time. Sad as it is to say.
Then let Manana pick up what Miyabi putting down. Miyabi asking to become apprentice of Manana?
Okay.
That's right. If it's not a problem.
No problem. Manana welcome with open
It's good to see... Oh! I dropped my controller. It's good to see Miyabi making friends, even if it's with like the main party, because when you consider like the group that was in Colony Omega, I can never remember the name of the one that was in Mwamba's place for Nia's group. But Mwamba and the other one, you know, they're barely mentioned anymore because they're very background characters. But like Kamuravi and Ethel only really seem to interact the most with each other, so... Seeing someone as shy as Miyabi, it's kind of what I was talking about with the competition. Just seeing her break out of her shell is always a good thing.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Manana.
Before Manana forget, should snaffle up recipes of Monica and Nisik while still have chance.
Monica would probably give you it. I don't know if Nisik will.
Good idea. Let's do that. Hey, Miyabi.
You did great there.
Oh.
Your food was amazing.
I'm still wondering, we had to fight for Menena's ingredients. Do we really have to...
I said before that I did this.
Do we actually fight anything like a console? This would be the first one I think that we wouldn't have to if we don't.
The highest priority in my mind. But really,
oh, okay.
It was for the both of you. I so wanted you to try it.
It was for us?
This world, it's filled with nothing but tragedy and hardship for us. But now, after coming here, that feels like a distant dream.
That's a good thing. It's a really good thing.
Yeah, that's right. You've always kept my wishes in your heart, haven't you?
Yeah.
That's why you brought me here, right? Because we're alive. We get to see these sights. Thank you.
Yeah. It's really wholesome. A lot of these Ascension quests have ended in a really sweet way. Yeah, there's almost no fighting in that quest though, and I don't mind that. I really don't. I wonder, could you ever... So, obviously we had the materials for Miyabi's half of things, and then we just had to talk to someone. That obviously would have had to be done. We didn't have any of the materials for Sena, but I don't recall fighting some of those enemies. I wonder if we could have had those prior, or if that's like a required thing, so that there's something to fight. Because that was literally the only fighting we did in this Ascension quest.
We've made some new friends.
Yeah, that was nice. So... yeah, I was only planning on streaming for about 3 hours a day. We're at 2:15. In that case, let's go ahead and just knock out for the rest of the stream. Let's knock out some of the pre-requirements for some of these other quests. That way we can get them done. The first one I wanted to start working on was Fiona's Ascension quest. Let me pull up this page here. So we have to complete Unease and to phase forward. Unease should be unlocked, according to what I was looking up, by us doing this discussion here that I picked up. I still don't know what that exactly the... I know I mentioned this at the beginning of the stream, but I don't know exactly why it wasn't showing up as an option until I did the update, because I don't know what was in the update. It could have been a bug, it could have been a number of things. But literally, as soon as I updated and restarted the game, it immediately showed up as I loaded in, because I was sitting and calling him Mew. Yeah, we got 14 more Ascension quests to go. I was thinking when we started doing this last stream, we'd only have like 3-4 streams max. Even if we're trying to do 3 minimum, we still have like another 3 or 4. And I don't know with all these requirements how long it'll take, because these 3 that we did this time were actually pretty short. But I'm just thinking back to like Ashira's taking like an hour and a half. Wasn't Lanz the one who inherited Fiona's class, actually? Huh. Console straight in it. Yeah, it's probably not best to mention it. Everybody works together. Yeah. They have a very, like... I don't know what the correct way would say it, but it's like a more flattened out power slope than a lot of other colonies. But Fiona was also made the commander. I think it was mentioned as she was like begging at the consul's feet or something like that for them to not have to fight. Seni, okay. Yeah, I'm sure Sena would like a nickname. How come only she gets a nickname? Lan. Yeah, Uni's gonna... He's not living that one down from Uni. I don't think Fiona meant it to antagonize him. That's really funny. But Mio gets called Mimi, so I don't think Lan's that outside of the scope of things. Just have to go talk to Tala. But yeah, I'm looking at this list we've got. And like I was saying, I know what quests I need to do for Teach, Valdi, Fiona. I know for Nia we have to visit like 4 specific spots because she talked about wanting to get out there. I don't know exactly. There's some weird cooking thing with Triton. And then Xeon and Ezard, I just don't know exactly which quest it is as of this moment. I'll have to track the quest. For Sagiri though, I really like Sagiri personally. But I think that Sagiri's is going to be really obnoxious to try and get done, because it seems like there's a lot to do in order to get hers done. Like, that might have to be a stream in and of itself, based on what I'm seeing when I looked it up, because you have to, like, it was something about, like, refurbishing the, I think it's called the, like, Lagart prison camp, or something like that, where we initially met Gondor, and they chose to settle in.
That smells gorgeous.
And then there's actually, like, other favors or something you have to do. But at most, it seems like for most of these Ascension quests, it is like 2 or 3 side quests max. And side quests usually aren't the worst thing in the world. But let's see how long it takes to get these 2 done for Fiona. Because we haven't done almost anything for Colony Mew. One by one, face to face. Okay. Nico, Lotus, Tusor, and Gugu. Okay. So we're talking to people, seeing maybe what we can do to make them feel better. I think is the idea here.
So
one's over there in the flower field, it looks like.
You're making me nervous too.
I don't think it's a bad thing for her to want to do something better. Yeah, I just realized we're only Affinity 1 with this colony. I don't even know... Is this the only colony we're Affinity 1? Actually, we're probably still Affinity 1 with... where is it? Should be around here. Is it 15? Yeah, 15. Oh, there's actually Affinity for the castle. I did not know that. I guess it makes sense that it would only pop up once we'd actually, you know, recruited them. But I remember when we first went to the castle here, I don't think it even showed Melia there, but 4 with 11. I think 4 is the highest we're at with a colony right now. And that's because we had like a 3-part quest to do for... We didn't have to do 3 Ravens of War, but I still thought it was an entertaining side quest. Just gotta get everyone here. You know, that I think about it, maybe I should... I can speed read really fast, but hopefully I'm not going too fast, because I know this isn't voiced. When it's voiced, I try to let it play out, but... I just figure if anyone's watching the VOD and they really want to see what they're saying here, you can pause it real quick, but... I know, I've been thinking about that as I've been going through my VODs and thinking maybe I'm going through them too fast. I'll probably just continue doing what I'm doing, though, until... If I ever get asked by, like, anyone. I mean, I'm still a pretty small channel, but if I ever do get asked by anyone to, like, slow down on stuff like that, or even read it out loud, I could. There's just so much to go through in this game, though, that I try to, not dally. Just read through it real quick and move on. Give a little bit, like, I don't know, commentary. Recap when it's something interesting. Yeah, we had everyone gather here. Need to raise morale. Okay. Fiona's trying to do something good for them and like, nah, we don't care. Get more provisions. The console, But But yeah, they did never, I guess, disclose the information of who the console actually was, but they never questioned why a couple people just randomly disappeared? Or did they say that JJ's passed on in the battle with the console? Gathering food. We might not actually have the resources for this if it's not something that you have to do with this quest. Because I haven't explored this area a whole lot. I haven't spent a whole lot of time in this area. Get some fish, huh? That makes me think even more that I might not have it. Yeah. Right, none of them are particularly close either. Oh boy. Well, we might have the chance to kind of see how far we can pull some enemies.
Oh, so that's how they're doing.
Yeah, this almost makes me think, though, it is one of those ones that we couldn't have done otherwise. I guess I could have taken the ship out here, but I figured I'd have to... These shoes, I'm not exactly sure which... Grill and roll them, huh? Top quality. I'm gonna aggro both of these and then drag them all the way back to shore and hope they don't de-aggro. I probably should have switched to a tank first, actually. Because, yeah, I was gonna say, they're not doing too much damage, but... One thing I've realized, though, is for sure, I think, if your active character dies while you don't have your weapons drawn, which we won't if we're swimming, that's what causes you to instantly black out. So... Wait, you can draw your weapons in the water? Oh. Oh. I'm an idiot. Add that to the list of things I wish I had known the entire playthrough. I thought you had to draw them back to shore. I swear I've tried this before and it didn't work. Ah well. I guess it's better to find out later than never. But I thought it forced you to... I know if you have your weapons drawn and you run into the water, I thought it forced you to sheath them. Huh. In that case, too, I could have brought the ship. Oh well. That's one of the downsides to not looking things up, I suppose, during the playthrough. And it might be in the tips as well. But I usually skim over when it gives us like quick loaded tutorials. I'll skim over them as I see them and then move on my merry way. Yeah, I had no idea this entire time that you could draw your weapons in the water. Oh. I think that right there's another one. I should have brought the ship, though. It's an elite one. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, because I was mentioning even, there was a unique at, like, there's like a little ravine that I fell into at one point. And there was a unique next to a waterfall. And I tried to drag it over to the island, the close by island, and it would de-aggro it. But that's because I thought this entire time if you weren't able to stand, you couldn't draw your weapons. That is really awkward, actually. I'm not canceling quite correct with this weapon. Another one of those things like I was talking about, though, I feel like any weapon in this game feels better when it attacks faster, gives you more opportunities to cancel into arts. There I just missed the timing, but... This weapon doesn't feel terrible. Makes me think maybe I should give, like, Lanz's weapon another try. But, I mean, we gave Juniper's weapon another try, and it still, not the biggest fan. Alright, so it looks like this is the one we need 5 of. Because the one that we need 1 of, you would assume, is like a really big... Really big enemy. Very nice.
And I was the MVP.
Might as well fight the lucky enemy. I keep finding out little things like this though, the fact that you can draw your weapons while swimming, and I feel so dumb, honestly. You have no idea how many times I've been like in situations off stream especially where I was like, why can't I fight this thing? Now knowing that you absolutely can. Pretty awkward.
If only you didn't charge off on your own.
With you around, Sena.
Yeah, it's crazy like seeing how fast... Oh, I'm not targeting this one. Crazy seeing how fast Fiona... Just having Fiona as a hero, you'll see my arts come back at random. And that's because Fiona has that fast arch recharge circle. As well as I think her... Doesn't her A ability instantly recharge them? It's part of the utility that she brings though. It's why I really like her end. Because... Wait, no, Fiona's the Signifer class. I'm an idiot, never mind. It's... Yeah, no, I'm just going on a stupid tangent that I'm completely wrong on, as per usual. Yeah, she gives all the buffs. It's Miyabi that has the fast recharge time. But that's why I like the utility of both of them. I really do feel like you suffer from pure healing power if you bring those two together. At least in my experience, it hurts a little bit. Why was I getting my arts back so fast then? Because it is an Agnian class, and... Huh. I guess it makes sense if they balance it around the slower attacking weapons, maybe getting their arts back at a slightly, like, they get more value... Oops, wrong button. You know, like a slower attacking Agnian weapon would get it back than, say, Zephyr, but Zephyr is a perfect example. It feels like you can just spam out your arts. But maybe a slower attacking weapon gets slightly more back per attack. Can I attack it from here? I can. Either way, I still stand by the statement. I think that fast attacking classes do really well for the Agnian side, and it's why Zephyr feels so good. I never quite got what Sena's weapon was supposed to turn into there. Does it turn into like a literal, like... Is it meant to be a giant dumbbell, or is it a full-on bench press that she just smacks him with? Obviously it's something big and heavy. That's the entire point of fighting with the giant hammer. Yeah, looking at buffs and stuff, I really do wonder if I have to bring one of the utility healers, either Fiona or Miyabi, which one ends up being better? The sheer number of random buffs you can get from her, or the fast arch recharge? Both seem helpful, but...
I really hope they'll like it.
I don't know. And I think it depends too, because we can build up chain pretty fast, and generally speaking, the reason we got away with having double utility healers for a while was because as long as it's not a fight that actually puts our tanks or, you know, backline in danger from like big AoE attacks, you can kind of just do whatever. Because the chain attack will allow you to heal to full, whether you use Taion and Uni's chain or not, really. Okay. 108 pieces of aromatic what? 89 top quality livers. 3 rich colon goods. How? What? Everyone went and grabbed him, huh? Yeah, we tried to... The entire point was to grab something that maybe people wouldn't grab. Huh. Well, I feel like in an area where monsters magically spawn in, it's not like running out the local, you know, flora and fauna. The, what's the word? You know, all the wildlife around, you know? A jamboree. That would raise everyone's spirits, probably, yeah. Oh, I see. She has a good point, but... Huh. Talo, you don't need to antagonize her. No, we're trying to foster peace here, and everyone was getting excited about the jamboree. But... oh, no. I don't think either Talo or Ayase here is trying to be a little bit difficult. Just things are a little bit different now. Yeah, and Talo's feeling that. Irma was what she went by. Console I. I'm sure things will be fine. But Fiona's like the type of leader, though, I think has a hard time dealing with things like that. For sure. Anyways, what was the other quest we have to do? It's called To Face Forward. I think it's also based off information, so let's do a quick lap around the colony. And if we don't have any new information, we'll,
Oh, so that's how they're doing.
we'll look it up real quick. Yeah, there it is. Because there should have only been 2 side quests that we had to do to prepare for Fiona's hero quest. Delicious cooking. Is that it? Oh, there's another piece of information. I was gonna say, that didn't seem like... I figured that it was gonna deal with what happened here. Yeah, oh, he's being condescending. That's definitely gonna rub people the wrong way. I get that he's trying to maybe get into his new position of leadership, but there's always taking it a bit too far, too.
Hey, did you guys hear something?
Yeah, especially in a colony that's so based around equality. Probably not going so well. Trust your Q, trust yourself. Was that actually Talo? It's... oh, maybe it was Fifi then. Fiona. Colony Muse salute. That's an entirely different... I would assume it's the Talos reputation discussion, because it's a 2-part one. I don't know where the other one would be. With this colony, I always feel like you might want to check the flower field, but before we do that, let's make sure we've explored everywhere in the city. Hey, we got up to, apparently that side quest took us up to Reputation 2 at this colony. I was worried that eventually I might have to try and use, like, Nopon points for some colonies, but it seems like just doing their side quests will take you to at least 4 pretty easily. He's working himself to... like, again, I don't think either side's really at fault. Talo's probably just under a lot of stress because he's now filling the shoes and realizing how much work Irma had left. Yeah, maybe prove himself as this new lieutenant, but at the same time, you know, it's a change for everyone. And it's part of the reason why I just avoid what's this? Oh, squad assignments. That's why I've had bad experiences with it before too. Where I even let stuff like that go to my head, and I'm not proud of it, but I feel like in the end, that's why I try to avoid any kind of leadership position, because I don't want to... I don't know. I've hit the point where, like, even if I don't get along with people, I do hope everyone can just get along. That's part of becoming... I mean, I'm far from a mature adult, but I think part of growing up is learning that you won't get along with everyone, but trying to at least be civil. Because as a kid, I used to get into fights all the time. Fist fights, verbal fights, because I couldn't. So, just the idea that maybe gotta learn. But I feel like often I do, I'm just reading too much into it. This is just a video game, after all. Very fun, immersive one, but... Opinions split between those who... I mean, there's always going to be questions, you know? I don't know if there's really a good... I mean, for us, Talo makes sense because Talo is one of the only forefront characters in Fiona's hero quest, but, you know. And different colonies handle things differently. I mean, Alexandria's lieutenant is Chickadee, who's... I don't know what term she's in, I could check, but you've got other people like Valby, whose lieutenant I think is older than he is. Yep. Yeah, everyone wants to make things better. But now that they don't have a solidified, like, we have to go fill up the flame clock and survive type deal, A little bit different. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Okay, so this time she's actually gonna go try. That's what I thought we were doing at first until I realized we were just one-on-one trying to bring everyone to the meeting. Okay. So go to the canteen and talk to people. But it's just one of those things too where just because people have intentions and everyone has good intentions and a similar goal, sometimes it's easy to lose sight of that. One of those like, hey, we're all on the same side type of thing, you know? Okay. Colony Mio is also another colony, to be fair, where it seems like the general, like, the average age is lower. That makes sense. Not quite to the extent of Colony Zero, but that was because Colony Zero had the limiter thing that would cause them to use up their life force, so naturally that was the case, but kind of seems to be... I don't know why. Maybe that's just me, though. Progress point card. This seems like it's one of those situations, though, where Talos trying really hard to implement. Like, sometimes you have leaders that are so gung-ho, and they have really good intentions to make, like, for example, I've had this happen at several jobs, where they, like, let's make, like, this new system, it'll be super great, but in reality, it just makes everything more of a headache. And so even though their intentions are like, let's make something fun, let's make work fun, stuff like that, that's what this seems like to me. A point and a sticker. See, that's a very... Yeah, that's exactly what it seems like. You'll become the lieutenant. Oh, okay. Like a lieutenant thing for the day? Of course Fiona didn't know about it. Okay. Those intentions are good. That's not what I expected, though. I thought it was going to be like an incentive type program that would... And I guess it technically is, but that would almost come across as condescending, like they were saying. Interesting. I'll be proper sad if you don't use them. Is that a challenge? He's just trying to motivate him, but... Okay. It'd be funny if Fiona ended up getting the most stickers, and she ended up being the... Now I'm the commander and the lieutenant. Goes back to the whole system of equality in this colony, though. Yeah, I think Lanz missed the point. It's not like one of us can become the lieutenant either. 5 stickers, huh? Well, let's get on it.
Stickers, stickers, stickers.
Oh my gosh.
That's how they're doing.
Oh. I'm assuming if we give up, it probably just pulls us out of the quest. I guess this is our...
Which one was it?
Okay. So it's 20, 10, 10. 10. Okay. It makes sense, though, that we'd be collecting... But this is what I was talking about. I think, say, Gary's Ascension Quest is going to have to be the last one we do, and maybe its own stream. Because just doing these 2 quests alone is already gonna take... I mean, we've been going at it for about 30 minutes. Still probably got another 10 to 15. Plus then Fiona's Hero Quest. So one that seems to be super lengthy is gonna take a hot second. I could also start doing some lengthier streams, try to do 4 or 5 in a stream, but part of the reason we were able to do 3 so fast was because we chose 3 that we could do instantly.
This is perfect. Thank you, Tyon.
How do I get up there? Oh, there's a ladder. Hmm.
Stickers. Got to get stickers.
Wow, talk about laser focus.
Yeah. Well, you'd assume it's either killing monsters or giving resources. Would be my guess on what we're doing here. Hmm. Yeah. Oh, okay. We just gave her advice. I do think confiding in someone is a good idea, though. As long as it's someone trustworthy, confide in... I don't mean to sound cynical, but confiding in the wrong person can also bite you really hard, you know? I've shared some things really personal with people, sometimes even just trying to cheer them up, and it's backfired. But just kind of unfortunate. Hmm. There's more information over there too, huh? I guess am I doing the right face forward? Okay, I was about, for a second there when I saw that information, I hesitated and was about to say, am I even doing the right quest? But we are. They just call him Lan. Poor Lanz. I mean, it does really line up, like Mio's called Mimi by Sena. Fiona's called Fifi. Like, I don't know, nicknames are weird too when people have short names. Anyways, what have you got for us? Aw. So what's sad about that? I don't think it hurts to... I would just say not at all here. I think saying that might come across as a little bit... I don't want to say condescending, but saying, you can't do anything, that's what makes you great. Okay, cheer him up. Even if you're not gonna, like, quote-unquote win the competition, and I am wondering if it's gonna be Talos still or someone else, but even if you can't quote-unquote win the competition, still just trying to contribute to the whole situation isn't a bad idea. But I think we should have, like, 3 stickers here. Yeah. Okay. Definitely see... Well, some of these are just picking up resources, but there definitely seems to be a lot more options to find stickers than just 5. Oh, we picked up the pendant. Huh. That's what we picked up, I guess, over there. She lost it, and it was, like, right there. Granted, to be fair, I've lost a lot of things that were literally, like, right next to me. Like, when you hide something, thinking this is the perfect hiding spot, nobody will ever find it, and then you can't find it. Oh, maybe it is just you have to get rid of all these for one. Well, let's get to it.
You itching to get wrecked?
Demons got against me.
This will keep me going.
I don't know what it is that's causing us to get some of our arts. Like, I was able to use Giant Swing twice there in a row. And that's why at first I was like, wait, do I have Troubadour with me? Because that's supposed to be like the poster child of Miyabi's class, is the fast starts to recharge. Hmm. Is I'm like, wait, do I have Troubadour? No, I don't. Okay, I'm confused then. For a second there, I was wondering if I'd switch someone to one. Either way. There aren't really any teleport points that I know of around here, so I guess we just follow these islands. And then... There was one way off where... Well, let's follow these, take out the monsters, and see what happens. Shouldn't be too difficult. I've thought about lowering my level, but ultimately, that's just going to make it take longer for no reason. And now that I have... I mean, I did have an area to go... I mean, it was level 90 pluses, like I was saying, in that one secret area in Lower Mock the Wildwood. So I had an area to inherit classes from pretty easily. And then aside from inheriting classes, I mean, the rest of it's just you gain XP and CP no matter what. And I'm pretty sure it's a flat amount, not a... Well, I thought it was a flat amount. Either way, if I was concerned, you know, I'd just go back there and grind off-stream. But at this point, I'm pretty sure my off-stream grinding's pretty minimal. Unless I decide to do, like, some of this other stuff. But, I don't know. 1, 2, 3... So then we have 14 left. 1, 2, 3, 4, and it looks like 8 have requirements for them. But things like Nias and Tritons, I think I can do almost instantly. But things like Teach's Teachers and Valdi's quests, I think, could be a little lengthy. The thing is, though, if this counts as one, what were the other exclamation points? Because at first I was thinking, oh, it gives you multiple opportunities to get more than 5 stickers here. But if we get one here from helping this person out, what were the other ones for? My sweat was cold. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what the other ones were. I don't even know how you get to this other side of the gate if this is locked, but... Apparently our ship was right there. Let me go see, though. So that should be 5, I think. Okay. I mean, there's a lot more spaces than 5, but I think the entire point was to just help the colony. Did they just stick them in random spots? Wait, we weren't just sticking them on wherever? What did I do? Certain charm. It's really funny. Yeah. I wonder who won, though. You would think it'd probably just be Tallow anyways, but it's possible. I mean, if it's Tallow anyways, people are going to be pretty salty about it. Oh, what? Yeah. That doesn't sound right. Oh. Oh no. Yeah, I think I can tell where it's going to. So they're making everyone the lieutenant. Tyon does his little hair flip glasses straighten thing. Oh, okay. Well, it doesn't explain how they all equaled 9.99, but yeah, give one for every single flower. You idiot. Yeah. Oh, they did get lost and just set it to 9.99. Okay. Well, it goes back to the system of equality. No, I don't think it's a bad solution for... Oh, including us. I don't think that is a bad solution for this colony in particular. Other colonies that would not work. But for this one, I don't think it's actually a terrible idea. Yeah, they all seem to have fun. It's like the exact opposite of what I think most workplace, like incentive programs work, but, you know. I think the only workplace incentive programs, though, that I've seen work really well are when they offer to give you more money. Because it's the entire point. Sad as it is to say. When we start talking about vegetable peas in a pod's a different saying. Yeah, they're arguing about it. Okay. Oh, she feels like she's getting spoiled. They're not trying to blame her, but part of it's, yeah, they're trying so hard to ease up the workload. That was the entire point of all this. So, okay. But yeah, the idea of not having lieutenant, even some of the more, you know, in control commanders have lieutenants to help look out for them. Though different colonies you would assume have slightly different sizes. If this is every member of the colony, it's not the biggest colony. That's still pretty wholesome. But she has to reassure herself a bit. I'm sure she'll be able to get a handle on it. Alright.
Oh, so that's how they're doing.
Interesting. So yeah, that's good. And then if I'm not mistaken, should be... Yep, okay. So now we have Fiona's prepped. Leaves... Hold on, let me get this list back out. If I don't write things down, I mean, I have a really good memory. It's just that for me, organizing my thoughts, my thoughts get so scattered that, it was like looking at the list literally, I just wrote down the names of everyone we had and then put a mark next to the ones that had requirements. But then at the beginning of the stream, I was able to list off what I remembered each one being. But, just helps me organize my thoughts. Yeah, Triton, the fishing thing. Sigiri Melia. You know what? I think we are going to go ahead and call the stream there. That's what I said we were going to do anyways. That took about 45 minutes, though, just to get Fiona's prepped, like I was saying. And we also still have to do Fiona's hero quest. And that's my concern, is we do still have 14 classes to ascend. So when you consider that we have to deal with 7 of those now having some requirements, I do think they'll be different, though. Like, teachers, I think I'll take a second. Valdes, because we already did some of the resource quest stuff, I'm hoping that'll be a little bit sooner. But Teach, Xeon, and Izard are the 3 that I think will have the longest requirements, and then obviously Sigiri, but Sigiri is, I really do think that'll take an entire stream from what I've been able to see. But other ones I'm hoping will be shorter. Tritons, it seems like it's just cooking something specific with him in the party. And like I was saying, Nia, when I was looking at it, said it was just visit 4 specific spots, but I'll decide off stream which ones we'll do next time as well. It'll obviously include Fiona. But once we get to the point that we have only like the 7 now that have requirements to, we might just plan on doing 2. And then if I ever have a stream where we can bust through a few really fast, you know, or the requirements aren't as much, we can just do more then. But either way, I have to, and like I said, I was only planning to stream for about 3 hours today because my family's getting back in town, I think, later today. And I wanted to clean up the house a bit because they've been out of town for like a week. So either way, guys, thanks for anyone who stopped by, watched the stream, watched the VOD. As always, they'll be posted on YouTube, but I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.